Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Rat Project's Dungeons and Dragons. Hopefully, I'm just noticing a lot of peeking on this thing. Hopefully, it's fine. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tomb of Annihilation. I am Johnny, also known as Bish Bayou. Joining me, as always, Lockie and Tim. And Jordan and Scott.
That couldn't have happened. That couldn't have worked better.
Amazing. So, welcome back, guys. We are going to be continuing with the Tomb of Annihilation, as always.
Not always. Sometimes we miss sessions.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Anyway. A couple of things. First of all is a not really a shout out, there's no promotion here at all, but
Yeah, too.
Dwarven Forge just wrapped up their 6th Kickstarter, which went extremely well. I think they hit every stretch goal that they had,
Nice.
so golf clap for them. But what that does mean is, obviously, saying I'm talking about it, is I did back it, which means we will be getting a nice little bundle of cool new Dwarven Forge terrain, which is cool. Now, the other cool thing about Dwarven Forge is I've been talking to Chuck over at Dwarven Forge, and we've worked out a nice little package for us to get a little bit quicker of their older sets, which means within a couple of weeks we should have a big set of Dwarven Forge for map making and other stuff. So
Thanks,
it should be really good. We're just working out some shipping and stuff, and then it should be posted out this week, I hope, which means it might be here next week. I doubt it. It'll probably be here the week after.
Is it from America?
Yes.
No.
But that will be here next week, so that's a nice little step up in quality and stuff.
No.
In other news, we finally got around to getting a 3D printer, which means we can do a heap of cool new minis and other things, which means no more, bulk space marines representing zombies and goblins
At
and
this
whatever
point,
else.
It's become part of the stream. I don't think we can do it.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna miss them.
yeah,
Until we actually versus Space Marine.
yeah.
With fucking swords and shit. Yeah, nice.
Every monster that's medium isn't just going to be a gene stealer anymore.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we should have. We'll be able to do some cool minis. They may not always be painted because painting takes longer. So I said to Tim, "Oh, I finally got the printer." He's like, and I sent him a picture of like the first batch of 4, and he's like, "Yeah, cool. Just throw some paint on and they're done." I'm like, huh, "Yeah, cool." Because it doesn't take long to paint minis, Tim.
Nah, but heck, it was my other idea that you told me to make a thing for. And then I asked you what program.
Oh yes, yeah.
What?
I'm gonna throw you a print something. It's gonna be hilarious.
A dildo.
No,
I feel like that wouldn't be the best material.
Um,
Just putting it out there.
So, yes, we did finally get that. So we've got some terrain coming. We've got minis. We've got
It's gonna
battle
be a better
mats
D&D
now
character.
that aren't just white. Slowly but surely, the quality is ever so slowly slipping up. So,
A better team.
I believe that's about
Yes.
it. And we can continue. As always, if at any point you're feeling generous, not only can you donate to the stream, but you can also donate to a fantastic charity using the link below, which is the Keep a Rest Foundation. Check that out. Yeah, I took it away from you guys so that it's a little less distracting on everyone. Every time you try and lean into me, I'm just going to change it to your camera. So
And then I'm leaning out of it.
yeah. Okay, but that is about it. So we can continue with the Tomb of Annihilation.
But wait, single finger guns or double finger guns?
Double finger.
One of
More
each.
power. One of each.
More power. Oh no, that's so wrong.
You're so wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
Well, which ones do you do, Johnny?
I think we worked out doubles.
Wait, have we already had this conversation?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before. Yeah. So-
chat.
Anyway,
You ain't got whap.
last week,
One
you
or two in
guys,
chat.
I'm looking at the wrong screen. We're looking over there.
Hashtag 1 for 1. Hashtag 2 for 2.
You guys wrapped up an encounter with some creatures of the void crawling out of the screaming masks set into one of the walls.
We should have killed the paladin.
A little bit. No, that's
Which
fine.
was pretty daunting. It led
Yeah,
to
might have survived.
2 of the party being unconscious, which you managed to pick them up.
I was actually taking an emergency nap.
And down the creatures before you continued back to the safety of and familiarity.
I think we had her on the first time.
Yeah, trust me, it's been a long week. There's going to be a lot of that this week. So you made your way back to the main stairwell amongst the 4 gargoyles who dwell in this room. Cast Liam's tiny hut and began to take a long rest.
Oh, someone's going to get molested.
Yeah, it's you.
Fuck yeah.
The guy cracks onto you thinking you're a girl.
I know.
So, the night or the day or the 8 hours or so passes as you've been down here for a few days and have essentially lost track of the day-night cycle. But
Check my ranger clock.
the time passes seemingly uneventful. You all get your rest, have time to have some rations, have some water, and gather your thoughts, which means you have all leveled up to level 7.
Yeah.
Except you.
Oh shit, why not?
Because we don't like you.
Because
Damn.
we're taking your experience.
Thanks.
We're actually level 8 now.
Did you say 8?
In all honesty,
9.
you guys being level 8 and me being 6 would definitely be more useful.
Are you going to get non-psychic attacking magic anytime soon?
Maybe at level 9, I think.
Let's cut him now.
But I have polymorph now, so...
Or just transform him into a fucking duck or something.
Yeah, but then once we kill the duck,
a
it just
duck?
goes back to whatever it is.
We'll just take the duck with us.
So I transform into a rat and trap him in a jar.
Nah, turn him into an ant and we'll put him in a cage.
You guys do whatever you want for a second.
Transform you into a giant ape.
Don't take that literally. Don't do whatever you want.
Why?
I don't,
You just do whatever you want.
don't trust you.
Ooh.
Oh, trust me either. For good reason. What if you like what if there's like a slit in the wall? You turn him into an ant, you throw him into the slit, and then
you stab him.
yeah, and then he gets stuck in the wall.
It's a good plan.
So,
That is actually a really good plan.
I really like it.
Pretty fucking smart.
Sometimes.
after
Or you turn yourself into an ant, go inside someone, and then
Birth yourself.
rip through 'em.
I feel like that'd
I'm
be
Ant-Man!
a double hit at that point.
Why?
I feel like you'd probably both die from that.
Not if you're in the middle.
What if their body structure is stronger than yours?
Okay, just wait till you're in their throat and then do it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, after gathering your thoughts, gathering your equipment, and going over your newfound strength,
Strong.
Our plan to take out.
I believe it's pronounced strong.
what
Doesn't he have a throat?
would
Isn't he a skeleton?
you like to do?
That's alright.
Level up again.
Maybe.
Still, still with your new companions, the quite scandally clad woman,
The scared
Keshma, who
Scandally
let's
clad
squish her.
woman.
you learnt before
Not
your
exactly.
night's rest that she
I'm
is
still in the same
quite a
hole I was
capable
before.
fighter.
That's why she ran away, little bitch.
And Pox, the swordsman of the Yellow Banner, who seems to be a little unsure of you guys at this point, and more sticking to Keshma's every move.
And look, we killed the thing.
But we won.
Yeah, we did the kill.
Yes, and she was never in threat of dying to them because she left.
Neither. Emergency naps worked out all the time.
So,
Can't leave anyone behind.
with that, Lehman's tiny hut begins to shudder and dissipate as its time comes to an end.
Cast it again.
Really, we could. We wouldn't really get much out of it.
Oh, go on. Don't actually.
Hey Scott, look at that. I rolled over a fucking 2 on a 12-sided dice.
That's possible?
Probably not from where you're sitting.
What are we doing? Where are we going?
All you do is look over and see garbage.
Oral throw. Get fucking proven wrong.
It's over a 2, dickhead.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
That'll
Well,
make
we
'em
haven't
from-
checked up the stairs through the main hallway yet, so...
Well, he should jump into that hole.
Wait, so we got the crown right.
That
It's
is true,
got the
we have
black
not checked
gems
down
on
the
it.
hole either.
Who's got the crown?
Me.
Are those black gems removable?
No.
They're not. Already.
No. Just stupid shit.
Like, try and get it out. Just like a strength roll.
Don't do it to break it.
That is bad.
He's not gonna break it.
That's a 6.
Yeah, the little bit of grip that you can get on these being so far inset into the gold, it's very hard to sort of clasp on them and pull them out.
Do you want me to record?
You imagine they
I don't want
probably
you to rip 'em
would
out.
be with the right equipment or tools.
Okay.
So
I
you
was
have
just
a
wondering if
dagger,
they were
we
meant
could-
to
we
come
could-
out.
If we had a dagger,
Oh, I don't want to rip it out.
I'll just
It'll
rip it out.
devalue the crown.
I'll devalue you.
Chop your dick off.
I think I want to be out of that.
That's fair.
Let's go.
Mario.
Put the crown back on then.
Sure.
Pretty sure I have 3 necklaces.
Hey, what was it? The end of that again?
The
Uh,
death room with the Shadowman. And
No,
there's-
no,
there's
just at the end of that
skulls.
actual
it-
So-
corridor.
Is it a
To the end of that
There's
corridor.
another mask.
Yeah, heading up to the end of that corridor, there's another stone face built into the end of the
Oh,
corridor.
the same one as this shield and amulet.
Yeah, I believe so. I want to get a
Yes.
mask of that now. That'd be way cool.
So it's the mask where you got the lizard from. You would also know that down that hallway there's a door on the left-hand side. So there's the stairs which lead back down into the maze where you were last time, and there's also a door on the left.
Let's try the door.
So there was a door down there that we didn't explore yet.
Yes, there's a door on the left.
Mate, going that way.
Yeah,
Right.
that way.
Do we want to go down there or do we want to go upstairs?
That way.
That way.
That way. I'm the ranger.
Is this how you always make plans, or do you just get by bumbling around ruins?
We're no commies.
Do you have a
We're
better plan?
democracy.
Well, I just assumed people who went out of their way to venture here might have some sort of a plan, but
How can you plan
Yeah,
for
our-
anything in this situation? You can't plan for
The
Yeah.
plan is to take everything out and get stronger so then we can take out Asarak.
okay.
The plan's to save the world.
We weren't the dickhead stuck in a glass bottle.
I just,
She teleports away.
I just pose again.
Okay, so you want to head down that hallway then?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay, so you make your way down,
Down.
and about halfway
Really
down this
close.
corridor, there is a wooden door on the left side. Now, this door is a little bit more intricately put together than some of the other doors you've seen. This one has seemingly carvings into the wood and nice iron branding that seems to have been forged and cut away to represent, air or something similar.
Go Pikachu, I choose you.
Now, I do just need to grab my book.
Does it look openable?
Wait, did I leave? I think
Would
I've
it
left
be
a
a
book
door
over
if
there.
it wasn't open?
Well, I mean, like, does it have a handle and you just open it? Does it
No,
look
it's
like,
like Johnny's
magically
door, just has no
open it?
handle.
Yeah, exactly. You have to knock.
So this door is actually ajar. It's slightly ajar
No, I made that joke already. I made that one go last
and slightly open.
All about jars. It's all about squatting on them.
Who is leading the
Who's got the
charge?
best
The
eyes?
ranger.
Nah.
No, the ranger doesn't have the best
Oh,
eyes.
I don't have dark
He's a
vision.
pathetic little human.
Hey, if I
So-
wanted, I could have got dark vision as a spell.
As you head up
What a waste.
towards this,
This ranger's much better than our old one.
peering in, you can see
Yeah, Arnold had dark vision.
there is very little in this room.
Big up.
Choose your own range.
Like before you even go up to the door, look like peering through, you can see behind it is maybe a 15-foot by 15-foot square room.
Get on it, boys.
And inside it, you can see there seems to be the flickering light of a single candle resting against one of the walls.
Let's snuff it out.
Alright, I have a possibly bad idea.
Open the door.
I'm going to pick up a rock on the... Is there a rock on the ground or something that I can pick up?
Yeah, you could find something, yeah.
Some rubble.
I'm going to cast light on the rock.
Okay.
Should I just throw it into the room and...
Not yet.
Yep.
I feel like I should actually
Right.
use one
I'm
of
gonna-
my
I'm gonna-
features.
I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Oh! It's only been 6 months in.
that I didn't know about
until
just now.
Actually, it's before Christmas, so it's probably like 9 months at this point.
I'll
I'm
put the
gonna
rock in my pocket. I am going to use detect good or evil in the direction of this room.
Doesn't detect good or evil only do like angels and undead and shit?
I swear we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of undead, so that'd be useful.
You focus and try to get a sense of anything that might be in the room or around the room. You don't necessarily get a sense of anything good or evil. You do definitely pick up a hint of magic, abjuration, and that would be it. Is almost it's quite a strong emanation of magic from this room, actually.
Fucking yeah, very good.
It's a super strong magic room. So I should throw the light rock in there.
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to sort of roll the light rock in so see if we can see anything better without going into the room.
Okay, yeah, you roll it in and clink, 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 it rolls across the room. It does illuminate, sort of peering through without getting too close to the door. You can see what seems to be the foot of a skeleton on the ground. It doesn't look like it's intact by any means. It looks like a few of the toes have fallen off and are resting on the ground next to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, there doesn't seem to be anything else that juts out at you.
Can I push out and take the door?
You could.
Could if you want, yeah.
Do you want to fucking try?
Nah, because I'm not a scumbag like you.
When have I pushed anybody into any room?
You guys try and like roll strength checks.
Through the moon portal?
Yeah.
That wasn't me, was it?
No, that was...
I was going to say.
Hey,
I don't push people I usually have to make strength rolls to not get pushed into shit.
You tried to throw me into something once.
Different character.
Yeah, you don't know about that.
Garth has this just like, celestial.
Garth's way nicer.
Alligator was cool.
Garth's not as dumb either.
Garth doesn't wreck or spit.
Garth probably doesn't believe in a fake god that we made up.
Garth can hit boats pretty well.
So,
What do you want to hope so?
Who's going in first? I think this is something for a barbarian to do.
Sure. I'll walk into the room.
Okay, so you you pull the door open, step in, and yeah, inside there is definitely
shit AC, right?
a half-collapsed skeleton in the corner of the room. Looks to be perhaps a dwarf or a halfling, something along those lines, and a candle resting on one of the walls.
Is the candle lit? Yeah.
It is flickering, yeah, and you see it's a red wax candle. The odd thing is that there's no wax dripping down the side. It looks like it's probably some sort of magical candle in the sense that it's not actually burning down. Aside from that, make a perception.
Wait, what side of the wall is the candle on?
It's on the opposite side from the door.
In the center.
And it was red?
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, so
It's evil.
you look around, maybe taken aback by how small and strange this room is. You don't notice anything out of ordinary on the walls, but what you do notice is on the floor and ceiling there seems to be many holes in the ceiling and the floor, which seem to be about the size of a finger, scattered throughout the ceiling and the floor. Aside from that, nothing happens when you step in.
Is like the body basically together?
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's probably rotted away, and over time the skull's fallen down to the ground, knocked a couple of arm bones off. Sorry.
Can we see this room?
Like the map wise? No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Maybe it's been eaten dead by something. By
locusts?
Yeah, by
How
bugs.
far away is the back wall from the door?
15 feet.
Yeah, it's about 15 feet. I probably might be able to show you a bit of this.
We're
Actually.
gonna finger a hole with the...
What?
You're gonna finger a hole with the mage hand.
I was going to say that we could all step out of the room and then try pick up the candle with the mage hand or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting the candle out. Apparently there's crackling.
No, he said crack-a-lacking.
Oh, I didn't really read it.
So I got rid of all the crackling. So this is where you guys are, and the doorway's in this wall. I don't know why it's not on this map, but
So we're actually inside.
That's
the
why I
wall.
was so confused. I'm like, there was no doorway there.
There was a secret door that was obvious.
Yeah.
so throw your minis
So you guys want
where
to?
you are, give or take.
You guys want
Gonna
to try
be out of the
and
room.
put the torch out with a mage hand,
You want to be
or
near the door. Do you want to be near me?
oh, he's in the
you're
room.
in the room.
I want to be near the door as well. I'm shield bound.
I'm with the gargoyles.
Why?
Just having a conversation.
No, I'm joking.
No, he's
Where
chatting
are
along.
you then?
Bottom of the stairs.
Here.
Yeah.
Or like
One
here.
back.
One more forward.
Halfway between.
You won't push him into the mouth.
Where are these two?
They'll just hang out at the back of the party, sort of following along.
Right, yeah, you guys want to try
Right,
putting the
that's
candle
cool as
out?
fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Or do we want to put the candle out?
Well,
Yeah, but don't stand in the room.
while Logamar's in there.
You want to leave the room?
Sure.
You want to click the rod in the door just in case?
Sure.
Okay, so you step back out, you take the immovable rod and put it against the door and click. And then you're casting Mage Hand.
Yeah. And you're going to try to
Can't wait till
put the flame out.
Okay,
Yeah, something comes out of the door.
so you go over and sort of pinch the wick, and you see the flame sort of extinguishes, and you release it with the Mage Hand, and it lights back up again.
You want to pick the candle up, I guess?
Put it in a hole.
Put the candle in a hole?
Yeah, jam it in there until it fits.
Can I pick the candle up with the mage hand?
Yep.
Can I put it in a hole?
Yeah. Sure. In the floor or the ceiling?
Probably the ceiling.
Okay, you'd probably have to
So
step into the doorway to do that,
No, this has been
to see the ceiling.
What if I crouch down?
And like, get into one of the further ones, sure.
Right,
Yep.
cool.
Okay. So you reach up and crackling in the mic, really? You reach up.
Noted.
Oh, you did say crack-a-lacking, so...
But why would you say crack-a-lacking?
What's crack-a-lacking?
yeah.
Is it my phone right next to the cable, you reckon? No, that's that cable.
Is there?
Unless Catlife's just fucking with you.
Yeah, is there actually cracking in the mic?
In the shotgun, Mike?
Yeah, there is the occasional crackle still, and I can't work out where it's coming from. I will investigate further.
It's actually
It's
one of the
only
last Bubble
it's
Brothers.
only very
Tim's a crackhead.
yeah.
It's actually Tim's voice. He just crackles.
Someone fucking crack.
So you sit down and sort of guide it as it jams into one of the holes. The candle's a bit bigger than one of the holes, so it takes a little bit of wedging in there, and you can see the wax begins to bulge and deform, but you manage to sort of get it in there to the point where it sticks.
Alright, we put a candle in a hole.
Now do every other single hole in the room.
Yeah, I will try and find that cap wax.
sounds like a lot of effort.
I think it's phones or something. I think it's in my interface, but I don't know.
We could turf all
It's
the
not.
phones.
It's not your phone. No. It was doing it before. I spent like half an hour trying to find this crackle before we started streaming, and I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
Was
I
the
might have to-
candle on anything?
Maybe if you
holding
find
it up?
snap and pop
just
first,
like a
that'll help
small
you find
candle
crackles.
holder, yeah,
Jesus.
candle stand.
Right, I'm going to try and use the mage hand, see if I can pull that down.
So it's sort of
yeah,
resting on a shelf.
faded.
On the back wall, there's sort of like a stone shelf
Yep.
that's jutting out with this candle holder
Okay.
sitting on top of it, and then the candle was on it.
Was.
We want to just search the room proper. Give it a nice thorough search through, because messing around with this candle is not really doing much.
Blow it out. Bring it to the door and blow it out.
Eat the flame.
Yeah, bring it outside the room.
Alright, I'll grab the torch out of the hole.
Mhm.
It's still lit.
It's still
Candle.
burning, yeah. You can see the top of it's now a bit deformed from where it was jammed in, but it's still burning.
Bring the candle out of the room.
Yep. Okay.
It's still lit.
Still burning. Yeah.
Yeah, put it out.
What if you just like push it against the wall and just leave it so it can't reignite?
Water.
Yeah, it goes out, and you can see it simmers for a second or two, a little bit longer than when you blow it out, but eventually you can see it almost magically dry, and then
Oil.
Infinite fire source.
you can see in doing this, and the more
Yeah.
you sort of sit there and blow it out, put it out, it now that it's out of the room, it seems to be burning the wax away. You can see the wax is starting to melt and trickle down the side.
Put it back inside the room.
Put it back in the room. Does it go back, or does the melted wax stay?
It doesn't revert, but after holding it there for a couple of minutes, you can see that it stops running down the side. It looks like while it's in this room, it seems to be everlasting.
I'll go in the room. I am immortal.
Yeah, let's give it a nice look over the room. Why not? Hopefully there's something that we've missed, otherwise there's a magic candle room.
No, what if the room's magic?
That's why I said a magic candle room. It's the room of magic candles.
But the candle's not magic.
That's all good.
No, but the room makes candles
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
He's just like, looks like you guys need a wizard. I was like, yeah, about that.
Yep. If only they had a wizard.
Oops.
Yep. So
What do you mean? He's just an eagle.
Nah.
There's going to be a separate party that comes help us.
We watched Daxter die.
It was meant to be. I think we just avoided them though.
Yeah, at the very start. We were meant to wait for them on the boat.
Yep. And then we kind of just left.
But
And I was like, hey guys, you think we should wait for them? Nope.
Wasn't it the second group that they didn't want to employ? I thought.
No, they employed both of them, so they should still be on their way here.
maybe no, but they're not going to be able to find the cubes because we've already got them.
Yeah, but the door would be open.
Well, but
Yeah.
other
But,
people
no, but we
have got
collapsed
in
the
here.
front as well.
That's you raise a good question. What's the chick we're with's name?
Kashma.
Kashma, how did you get into the tomb?
She was already here though.
Did she
At
have
least
to
everything.
collect a bunch of
I didn't come here of my own accord, I can assure you of that. I was brought here.
Alright.
I don't know how.
What about you, Mr. Swordboy? I don't know your name. Nice to meet you. My name's Zenith.
Pox, it's nice to meet you. Yes, these cubes. The party that I came with, the Yellow Banner Company. There was 10 of us, if I recall. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember the cubes required to open the door. They were scattered about the city. We lost a couple of members just searching for the cubes, but if you found them, I guess they found their way back out amongst the city.
Yeah, which means, hey, more people could come in.
We could get help.
Worst comes to worst, that other team that was hired might actually show up.
Maybe we'll just wait here.
Remember that?
Just wait at the doorway?
Remember that time he collapsed the engines
No.
when we were getting chased by the wraiths?
Then we'll pull him off.
It's fun.
But what if I could just revert back in time?
What if-
after time it's
What,
reversed?
you
What
mean
if
the
it's just
trap resets?
reopened? Yeah.
I mean, you guys have seen previously the seemingly slave dwarfs that reset one of the doors that you'd been through. So you do get the sense that something, be it magical or material, does maintain a certain
I
degree
have
of
a
this
bad idea.
dungeon.
Let's go check it again.
It's a good idea.
We could walk all the way up to the hallway above and see if that magic trap mirror is back. Well, because if the traps are being reset, the mirror might be back, and then...
The one that you got trapped in.
Yeah.
I don't think so because it's broken.
And that hasn't even been that.
They're not going to replace it.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't just have a mirror factory around the corner.
They probably
How do you
don't
know
have a
that?
trap mirror.
Yeah, how do you know that?
So are we doing anything with this room?
Speaking of, how long does it take for meat to go bad?
Depends on the meat.
Minotaur?
Yeah, we should just carve them up for rations.
Do you reckon it'd be bad by now?
Probably. Yes.
It was less than... It would have been less than 12 hours ago.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, only would have been.
Like 10 at most, right?
Well, you've just slept for 8, so yeah, 10. It would have been somewhere between 12, 13 hours, something like
Well,
that.
We can go back and check if the meat's alright.
Has it
I assume while you guys are having conversations like you've just been having, time is passing, so I sort of take that into account.
Yeah, that's what I said. What we're doing in this room.
Like, your party just spends like hours just standing around chatting.
With 19 survival, do I know if the meat would be better?
Yeah, I was going to say make a roll. You, like, it wouldn't be fresh, but
Edible.
worst comes to worst, it could be edible, yeah, absolutely.
How long would it last if we cut it up?
I'll be back. You
You
guys,
want some help? No, not that I can really.
Do we have any salt?
Does anyone have a dagger that they can help him with?
I would
I've got
assume
a eucalypt.
Garth would have a little bit of salt for preserving meat. And that
I'm
sort of
fucking
stuff.
salty.
I'll
as
go
it
into
is.
the room and light a torch.
What about the wizard?
Okay.
She's not a wizard, is she?
Does
She's
the
a-
torch seem to be like
Yeah.
Oh, I like the end of
So
it.
she has like a magic pouch.
Yep,
That has salt
okay.
in there.
There's a rope
You,
burn.
yeah, so you light it up. It seems to burn as per normal. It doesn't seem like time is distorted or anything.
I'm gonna go carve up the Minotaur.
What's everybody else doing? So you're heading off.
Yes.
I'll go with him just in case.
You're going with him.
Pussy, I don't need your help.
I'm gonna do a search of the room, see if there's anything that
You just don't find
Okay, you're
whatever's in
going in
there.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know that there's nothing else in here that can kill you.
Well, we've already been through all most of it.
I've got nothing.
There could be more things.
So,
We've come to the area.
so you step in. You two head off. Keshma sort of makes her way over to the door and peers in.
Solves the puzzle.
Unless we like wait until the candle runs out outside the room.
Maybe.
So where's the candle right now, by the way?
In the room. Well,
Okay,
it's in the
so-
mage hand. It's
Still holding it.
yeah.
Put it in
Okay.
your butt.
How long's mage hand last for? Actually, it's a good question.
27 minutes and 30
It's not in the mage hand actually, because mage hand lasts 1 minute. So I would have,
Alright.
when I went out of the room, I would have taken the candle
Yeah.
with my hand, I guess.
Okay. So you guys wander off. You guys are in having a look around the room. Keshma sort of steps in,
See you, mate.
says, "There's so many rooms in this place that just seem to be irrelevant, almost like." Have you ever heard the tale of the Winchester House?
Nope.
Can't say I have. You're not
Okay.
there. You see him down the hall.
Nope.
Building rooms merely to confuse people, to make them seem like there's nothing here. And with that, you hear a crunk, and you hear
It's a skeleton.
crack. You turn around towards the sound of the noise to see the immovable rod fly across the room. The door swings around, slams shut. Now,
shit.
you guys,
That's a strong door.
you say anything, your character dies. So,
That's because you're not here with us.
Do we hear a door slam?
yeah, you would. And you would probably hear Pox begin to sort of shout.
Can we hear Pops or
Wow.
is the room soundproof?
Yeah, you can hear him. It does seem like
Why would you-
it's not like you've been transported or anything.
yeah, no.
Did the rod
Go
go
hear a slamming door,
launched
some
in or
screaming.
out of the room?
Yeah, no, but we can't give them
It sort of
information.
bounced down across
Oh,
the floor a little
okay.
bit.
Okay, so we can still have the rod.
between
Outside the room.
outside?
Out, yeah,
Okay.
down the
Damn it.
hallway a little
because
bit.
we're not in the room.
Pox has a rod.
Oh man.
So,
Wish we
Pretty
had more people
sure
in
that's
D&D.
the
It's
least of
a bit
our problem.
That's
Yeah.
a strong door.
Yeah.
with that,
Dirty street.
Do you know anybody
suddenly
else?
this
Like
room,
3,000 pounds, I think it was,
you
or something
instantly
stupid.
begin to feel the temperature of this room begin to rise. As
Water.
Wait for it.
Wait, I can't say.
You
anything.
can't. Shut the fuck up.
As
Atmosphere inside is comfortable regardless of whether outside.
light begins to catch your eye above you as you look up to see what appears to be lava begins to form in the holes
Oh fuck.
and slowly begins to drip from the ceiling. So you
How
two
slow?
and
The
Keshma.
bone's still there.
How slow is it?
It's pretty slow. Like you have a
Just
bit of
get
time
water
as you
and
see
then-
it sort of come down the
How tall
hole.
is the roof?
Boxes in
15 foot.
Pox will scream.
But
Yeah, 'cause
Pox
he's
is in
outside.
there.
Oh, Pox is outside.
Pox is outside Keshma's.
Just get water and then we can make obsidian.
I'm burning a third level spell for this. Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to put my shield up and start casting Tiny Hut as an actual spell. 1 minute.
Okay. 1 minute.
Yep.
Okay. Let me check. The
Are we
timing on
sprinting
this.
back?
Well, if Pox is yelling, yeah, we're running back.
Yeah. So you guys can hear from down the hallway like.
I'm coming, Pox.
So let me just check the timing on this because there is timing for it.
With the shield on top of my head, I should go a little bit longer, right?
You don't
Okay. So
Yeah. Why is that?
make a dexterity save,
Makes it all
the
good.
two of you.
I'm strong, but I'm not stronger than the fucking
14.
immovable rod.
You know how you laughed at me when I
You can have
got
advantage because you're
fine
using your
trap
shield.
spell.
Thank you. 8.
I should have mentioned that. Okay, with an 8, that's still kind of bad. So you're
Well,
like
a
you're
nat
sort of
1 and then a
focusing.
4.
Mate, Ogremuck sort of, while you're concentrating on this spell, Ogremuck sort of notices that you're not quite paying that much attention, sort of pulls your shield over a little bit more to cover him, which leaves one of your shoulders exposed. So...
Can I start grabbing the jug and just pouring water on the ground?
Go for it. I'm busy casting a spell.
So you're
you
gonna
can just take it off of me at this point.
You're going to take 9 points of fire damage as a drop of lava begins to pour, or a trickle of lava begins to pour onto one of your shoulders and run down your back.
There's much space on this character sheet.
I like that.
What do you,
I'm going to grab the jug and just start pouring water, as much water as I can, on the ground.
onto the ground? Okay. So you can see as this begins to fall down, it almost seems like they very closely line up with the holes on the floor and almost begin to... The few that sort of slightly miss the hole puddle a little bit, but it begins to drain out through the holes in the floor. It seems like the intent is to burn you on the way through. You begin to cast this spell, and you focus, and the hut begins to shimmer and take effect. And after about 10 seconds, you see it waver and falter before it disperses.
I was about to say not the fuck's over, but wouldn't you have to do a concentration save after getting hit?
He would, but it
Would
is,
I?
yeah.
It's not a concentration based
magic
spell.
field.
Isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this was gonna happen anyway, so
So does that mean I still use the 3rd level spell slot on
it
that?
does. Sorry.
Polymorph yourself into an ant.
So, holding the shield above your head, this lava begins to
Burn a fourth
flow
level.
through these holes. What do you want to do?
Guessing there's no...
There'd be no
No
area
problems.
where you could sort of...
These holes cover, they're about every 6 inches around the room, in almost a grid pattern.
Alright.
What am I looking at? This one. Oh. Be shit on the Switch.
Got a petrified egg.
Too bad. It's going to become even more petrified now.
No, fuck, that's not going to work.
You know who's immune to lava? People not in that room.
People...
Yeah, not quite how it works.
Can I kill Garth now?
What are you guys just running back?
What?
We're running.
Did you say can I kill Garth now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I put like the candle in like water, just like submerge it in water, so it can't reignite.
Okay, you've got the jug of water. You take the candle and you douse it, and suddenly you feel immense warmth as you are sucked out of the room.
With the candle and the jug?
So,
See you, nerds.
you find yourself in another room. You guys make your way back
Yeah.
to the hallway where you can see Pox is banging on this door, which is now shut. You see the immovable rod is about 10 foot down the hallway towards you.
This
But-
didn't go in the mouth.
He hears you guys arrive as you run around the corner and says, the door swung shut, they're stuck in there, what do we do?
I'm going to grab an arrow. Arrow.
That's all you can...
Not fire.
I don't know what the fuck.
I want a thunder arrow. I'll keep grabbing arrows till I grab a thunder one.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll tell Pox to stand back.
Yeah, okay, he backs off towards where you guys are.
I'm going to shoot the hinges with the
Okay.
thunder arrow.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Don't miss a door.
Oh my god.
That one.
It's so bad.
You missed a fucking
I
inanimate
got a
object.
12 if you want to put me modifier
it's-
on.
You don't.
You missed a fucking inanimate object.
Yeah, there's not really any way it can go worse than just missing. So the arrow sort of scatters down the hallway and hits the mask at the end and explodes in one of the eye sockets of this mask, blowing a chunk of stone
And then
out
more
of it.
men start coming in.
But
My next one's a 9.
okay, so you line up for this door. You
I
don't
could
quite
burn
hit the
it
hinge
first.
exactly, but you hit where the
Oh.
door is.
20 all up.
Okay, so yeah, you
No.
managed to hit this door, and surprisingly, the thunder arrow seems to have tremendous effect. The door opens with the concussive force of the arrow and swings around. You can now see peering in though, the room's empty. You would see a little bit of lava disappearing down the holes in the floor, but nothing else is left in here.
They're dead!
So,
Wait, so all
You
of us
guys.
were puffed into the next room, not just him?
no, you three.
Oh.
Yeah, Keshwa's in there as well.
I thought it was just him.
So,
Same.
you three appear in a cell that smells mouldy. The walls are damp and seem to be covered by snails and oysters all over the walls. You can see
The door opened because of we weren't in there.
the room.
Yeah, probably. Just very convenient time.
This one seems to be painted with various reliefs of the ocean, tidal waves, and coastal cities, and that sort of thing. You can see a merfolk, a sort of ocean-born humanoid figure, is essentially set into one of the walls as almost like a bust. And in one of his hands is a red burning candle. As you take this in, you sort of peer around and have a couple of seconds to take this in before water begins to overflow the walls up the top, and this room begins to fill with water.
Plug them.
So basically what this is the walls go up, and then there seems to be about an inch at the top where the water is just overflowing. It seems like it's a box inside a box sort of thing.
Stick the candle in it.
So,
In your butt.
Is this candle lit?
yes.
Not as lit
Do I
as
still
I
have the
am.
other candle yet?
The other candle, when you came into this room, seems to have disappeared.
No, okay.
Can we see the candle?
Okay, so you guys run up to the door and peer in. You can see on the opposite side, on a shelf resting on an iron sconce, is a red candle.
Is it the same one? Like as damaged as me trying to shove it in the hole? Or is it?
Seems to be intact.
You're not there.
Yeah, I know, but you guys probably would have been like, hey, that one hasn't been shoved into a roof.
Pox, where are they?
I don't know. They went in and
Surely
the
it
door
wouldn't be as
slammed
easy as
shut.
submerging the candle again, right?
Yeah.
That'd be too easy.
Did you hear
Put the candle
screaming?
in lava.
Okay, so
Did Box hear screaming?
there was some shouting and confusion. I think I couldn't really hear what they were saying, but
I don't grab the immovable rod.
What?
Yep.
And then it just stopped.
yeah.
Oh, we didn't see their remains. Can we still see the skeleton?
The skeleton's still in the room, yeah.
It's not more than one skeleton.
But nothing else is in there. You guys,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
Do you want to submerge the candle? What's the worst that'll happen?
Teleport again.
So,
Sure.
technically, you guys have 60 seconds before this room fills.
And then you got a lot of breathing time.
So I'm not going to give you guys 60 seconds to decide on what to do, but that gives you an idea of how quickly this room is
Okay,
filling.
yeah, I can resubmerge it and then take it back out.
So we have 10 actions.
Essentially, yeah.
Jeez.
How long does
That
it
is
take
not
us
long.
to go through an action?
Yeah, so that's the kind of time frame that you guys
Lehman's
are
time
dealing
out.
with. So,
Again.
what
For
do you
everything.
guys want to do?
I don't think we should go in there.
Yeah, well, if there's a fucking disappearing act on lava, I'll probably say no.
We don't know there's lava.
They see you.
Was
You
still
did
lava.
see a little bit of lava disappearing through the holes in the floor. There's a little bit that sort of missed the holes, a couple of droplets kind of things scattered around the
Well,
room.
the skeleton hasn't burnt, so
How does drowning work
I don't
in
think the
D&D?
lava actually hit that.
I think you're playing
Why would there be
coolest.
If I
lava?
spam heal myself,
So,
yeah, I have a lot of spell slots that I can use.
So, yeah, I
myself
guess-
into a fish.
Must be brought
It's not
up
bad,
there.
already.
Assuming it works.
what are you doing?
Worst
I
comes
don't
to
know.
worst. No, I'm just planning for the worst.
You have a fucking
I decided I can polymorph myself into a fish if worst comes to worst, but we should submerge the
Thunder
candle
arrow.
to see.
I can resubmerge the candle, that's the first thing.
Okay, so is the candle off the wall,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to take it
Yeah.
and submerge it. You take the candle and drop it into the water. Nothing seems to happen.
Take it out. Does it reignite again?
No.
Fuck. Fuck.
So we'll say that's one turn.
That hurt.
You guys...
I'm shooting the candle to try and put out the fire.
Okay,
Either with a frost or a thunder.
okay.
So
So
what
you-
was that thing on the wall?
Merfolk.
A merfolk, yeah. I'll pull up the picture.
16.
Yeah, so what do you want to... Because I'm assuming you'd have the time to...
Frost.
A frost arrow. So you take the time and you line up this shot, and being 10 feet away, it's a pretty easy shot. You hit this candle, and you see the blue energy ripple from the arrow as it hits, and it overtakes the candle and snuffs it. And then as the blue magic dissipates, the candle reignites.
I'm just gonna read up on the spell.
Do you have any way to light the candle again?
Yeah, I've got a tinderbox for me torches.
You could maybe try lighting the candle again.
Yeah.
So yeah, inset into one of the walls is a stone representation of one of these, essentially.
And she was just holding the candle.
Yeah, yeah. With sort of just like, yeah, both hands sort of relaxed and in one of them holding essentially what would be a like a candle, I forget what they're called, but like a lantern but for a candle. Something that you could carry it around with, essentially.
I'll put the desk candle back on the hand first.
Okay.
Purify food.
Oh, nice. Problem solved.
It probably would have been really useful.
Yeah. There's so many rations now.
Did you hear that?
Nope.
I've purified food and drink.
We have so many rations now. Collect the Minotaur, purify food.
How is it really useful when you have all your spells?
If I cast Find Traps, I learn the general nature of a trap. Does that mean I would understand how this lava trap would work?
Unless it's
Does it detect physical or
It'll just be like
magical?
it'll just be
or
physical.
both?
I reckon.
So it does both.
Oh,
Okay.
So it's whether it's alarm spell, glyph of warding, or a mechanical pit trap. But what it doesn't reveal is like natural weakness in the floor, unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole. So like if it's intended to be a
Okay.
trap,
Yep. Okay. Are you doing that?
yeah, I'll cast it.
Okay. So you get the sense, going by the information that Pox gave you and looking over the door and the hinges and the rest of the room, you would assume that there's some kind of mechanism, not necessarily magical, but something that activates this room, which would force the door to shut mechanically. And then you get the sense, going by the lava on the floor, that lava would pour from the ceiling. Aside from that, you don't really get anything else. It seems like that is the trap in a nutshell. That's essentially all there is to it. You don't get a sense of like how to escape the room, or
Would I know what sets it off? Like what kind of mechanism?
So like investigating the room, there doesn't seem to be anything necessarily in the room. It looks like it would have to be activated elsewhere.
Did the trap go off? Wait, what happened that made the trap go off when you guys were in there? I'll ask Pox. When the door swung shut, did anything happen?
He says, I don't know. Kashmir walked in a couple of, maybe a minute after the others went in, and they were just looking around the room last I saw. They weren't touching anything or doing anything.
How long was Kashmir in the room for before the trap went off?
Not long, a couple of seconds.
Unless it's like, wait. And there's got to be a certain amount. Is there anything movable that I can start putting in the room?
There's a little bit of rubble back in the main room. Looks like from bits of the staircase that has collapsed and that sort of thing. The
We
old
fucking
handrail.
blew that up.
Yeah, there's a chunk of stone out of the mast.
Well,
That,
somebody blew that up.
Would there be enough stuff around? Oh, I could probably grab the corpses from the mirror room as well.
Just get like 5 people to stand on the rod and then click the rod in.
But then we'd already be in the room. There'd be more than...
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
So you put relit the candle.
Oh,
Yep.
I haven't
You're in
read
charge
it. I'll
for this
put the
one.
desk
I
candle
think
on
it's
the
might be down
Yeah,
there.
so put
Might be
the
right.
non candle in the hand.
The other
No,
staircase,
nothing.
but then I don't
Should
take
we?
a chance if
No,
we run into another trap
nothing.
ourselves.
Light
seems
the
to have
candle.
changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing happens in there, assume. Is it possible to switch which hand is holding the candle?
No. Basically, one of them sort of just like in a rested sort of closed
I'll
hand
follow
gesture.
the
The other one
this
sort of
one.
with a finger out, sort of to hold this
Yeah,
holder.
literally no way.
How high is the water?
At this stage, it's about a foot, getting up towards 2.
So we can't. Is the water clear? Can we
We
like
can't
see the
go
ground?
down.
Is there anything on the
Yeah, it's
ground?
reasonably clear water.
Uniform.
Yeah.
Is there like anything on the ground or anything?
Make a perception.
Both of us? Or?
20.
Okay.
No, it wasn't
No.
that.
Well, hang on. So you can use your action essentially to look as well,
Yeah.
if you want. Otherwise, you could do something
I
else.
can't think of anything else useful. I'll look at the roof instead of the floor, I guess.
Okay,
If there's
sure.
anything there.
Um,
Nat 20.
Nice.
Plus my investigation gives me a 20.
Okay, so looking around the room, you two combine sort of.
No,
You scan the
actually,
floor and you can see there is what seems to be a drain in the floor, but it's not open. Looks like it's probably a means of resetting this room. You investigating the ceiling don't notice anything out of the ordinary. There doesn't seem to be any holes or hatch or anything in the ceiling. The water overflowing the wall seems to be the only thing. But spending a bit of time collaborating, I don't see anything on the ceiling, I don't see anything on the floor. You look around the paintings on the walls, and after a while you notice that there is something a little bit odd about the depictions. Some of them seem to be carrying bags of oysters, some of them seem to be picking snails off rocks, which strikes you as odd considering there are real oysters and snails crawling around this room. That is about it. So the water begins to get up to about knee height at this
Don't put a
point.
snail or an oyster in their hand.
What are you guys doing?
Sure.
I'm yelling out to him, drink all of the water.
So what, I'll put an oyster, I'll grab an oyster, you grab a
I'm
snail.
going to try and put as much
If that
stuff
doesn't
in the
work,
room
well,
as
I'm
I
just gonna start
can,
trying to smash
which
the
would
drain in.
roughly
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
3 people's weight.
Okay, so
And I'm going to help him.
okay, so like
Maybe
the,
we can
the
get
stone
Kishma
piece you
to
blew off
grab
is
the oyster while
probably
you try and smash
equivalent
the
to
drain
in.
nearly a person. It's
With
a
Kishma's
decent
a
chunk of stone.
I'll chuck that in.
Okay, so you put that in. So are you? What are you just like chucking
get
stuff
Kishma
into
to
the
go
room?
first, I'll
Yeah.
try and start
Yeah.
smashing
Okay.
that.
So you do that, and then you go and gather a bit of timber from the main room, grab that, throw that in. You've thrown in what you would assume to be the weight of 1 to 2 people. Nothing seems to be happening.
You wouldn't drag a gargoyle, the dead gargoyle, all the way from there.
So yeah, there is like there
That's
is
so
a couple of human corpses or humanoid. There's the drow corpse, which is
Flat.
a bit of a pulpy mess, but still weight.
In he
if you wanted
goes.
to okay, so you spend a bit of time sort of gathering up. It's a pretty disgusting job.
Hey, look, I'm a pretty disgusting person.
But in a rush, you manage to sort of gather it up and throw it in. This adds, a fair bit more weight. There was the other corpse of the other, commoner in there as well.
In he goes.
So yeah, between them, you're confident that you've added at least 3 people's worth of weight, maybe, 400, 500 pounds. But there's still nothing happens.
Alright, I'll snuff the candle out again with an arrow.
Okay.
13?
You,
Not the first one.
yeah, I mean, eventually you hit it.
Corpses into a room.
It snuffs out. The arrow
Really
sort of
funny
bounces
spot.
off the stone behind it, lands on the ground, but nothing seems to happen after the arrow hits the ground. It reignites.
What if it's people?
You guys,
It's mechanical in
Gonna-
nature.
Grab a snail off the wall,
okay?
tell Kashmir to grab an oyster.
Okay.
I'm going to put them one at a time in her hand and see if it does anything.
Okay, yep, so
Is
you...
there,
Yeah.
is there anything to pull on the drain, or can I just swing at it?
Yeah, you could try and force it if you wanted to. And just like with your axe or something, maybe just crack at it a bit, or...
Yeah, I'll just use the mace because it's got that
Throwing axes.
Okay.
AoE thing.
Sure, make a just make a attack roll as per normal.
Does that come up?
Damn.
Yeah.
Wasn't a 1 like
Um,
me.
I don't think so.
14.
Okay. And roll damage. Trying to find the stats for drowning, just in case.
10.
Okay, so you slam at it a bit with this mace, and you can see whatever this is made of, it doesn't seem to be it doesn't seem to even be deforming at this point.
Scary.
But you could certainly continue. So you take these snail oyster and put it into her hand. It doesn't seem to have any effect.
What if we kill all the snails?
I'll crush a snail in my hand.
Okay. Nothing seems to happen.
Like Scott, I'll just download Neverwinter on my phone. Just give me a sec. I'll play through the game up until this room, and I'll let you know.
So, that's a turn for you guys. The water is sort of thigh height, getting up a little higher.
Piss in the water.
What would you guys like to do?
Provide straws for drinking. What happens if I just close the door?
Yeah, you can do that. The door seems to swing. It's a little bit of resistance there, almost as if it's connected to something, but it does swing back around, and you can close it. But yeah, nothing seems to happen.
What if you entirely blow up the candle? What if we take the candle out of the room?
I don't want to go in there.
I can't find.
Have you got a lasso?
Drowning.
Hey, Pox, go grab the candle.
Do you reckon we can tie a rope to the end of an arrow?
Been over this.
Just saying. I was looking at it
it's
before. I was like,
only 10 feet
ooh,
away.
I might change one of my cantrips. Ooh, message. That looks useful. Nah, I probably won't need it.
It's only 10 feet away. You could shoot. Can you shoot 10 feet with an arrow? With rope attached to the end?
Rope.
Surely you can. What do you mean? 10 foot?
The arrow will just go
Yeah, but you can shoot like 1,000 without the rope, so...
Just fucking
700.
counteract it.
Is it actually 700?
Do you want to give it a crack?
700
Jesus
feet.
fucking Christ.
And because I got sharpshooter, it's without disadvantage.
See, my 1,000 wasn't that far off. Somehow.
So you should be able to shoot 1,000 with this disadvantage. Take good.
And
No,
you should be
the
able to
700
shoot.
is the maximum range.
You should
of
be
the
able
bow.
to shoot an arrow with a fucking rope attached to it 10 feet.
Yeah, if you can shoot one 700.
If you can shoot 700 feet, I'm sure you can do this.
Yeah, he shoots it, but not very accurate though.
But if I shoot 700 feet, I've got to pretty much aim like 45 degrees.
Yeah, but the power though.
There's a roof.
That's different.
Just get
completely.
string.
Yeah,
Just,
string and
just
ropes
build a
do.
lasso and throw it.
Do you have any string?
Levitate. Oh wait, he's done that?
Do you have anything that would help?
Oh, where's the old inventory? Oh, here it is.
I fucking hate these books. It's like, refer to chapter 8. There is no chapters. Jeez. There's part 1, 2, and 3. So, what would you guys like to do?
I want to maybe...
Can I see your book for a second?
180.
I have an idea.
I take it back. There is chapters, but the chapters aren't on the pages.
Did you not
is
see it
annoying.
for a second?
Are you fucking serious right now?
Joking.
This is a very stressful moment, Tim.
Not really, it's just a game. It's not real life, man. We're not actually going to die. This... Oh,
Have you not
as I
played-
say that, water just starts coming out. I was
Have
like,
you not fucking seen Stranger Things? Stop talking shit.
mate, it's just a show. It's not
Okay.
real.
So what are you guys doing?
Waiting for Keshma to pull her finger.
I have an idea. Do you reckon that's a good idea or not?
Yeah, Keshma's sort of
I was
panicking
going
a
to
little bit.
ask her if she has any spells that she thinks would be useful in this situation.
Put a candle in back.
And then...
Can you do it twice in
So
succession?
all that's in this room really is the paintings.
I'm sure if I use it
on
as
the
an
wall,
action.
the merfolk thing,
Yep.
the drain on the ground,
Yep.
and
As an
then
action and then a
oysters
bonus
and
action.
snails just
Yep.
around the wall.
Around the room, yeah. Yep.
Well, that's
And then the
second level
and the
slots.
engravings of them. Are the people merfolk as well? The engravings or they're actual?
Yeah.
Think I'm
Merfolk,
fine.
yeah.
Cast Mordenkainen's been...
Does it look like what does it look? Does it look like they're studying them or ready to eat them or?
They don't seem to be doing. They just
Or
seem to
playing
be
with them.
gathering them more than anything. They seem to be. A couple of them have sort of like a few handfuls.
Go
One of
find
them's
more.
carrying like a bag and that sort of thing. They don't seem to be doing anything in particular with them.
Do we want to just start collecting them? Because that seems...
Keshma says, I can detect if there's magical sources. I guess I don't know how much help that would be. I have a couple of spells that are teleporting and shifting, but that does not go well in here. I can assure you of that.
Alright, but is it better than drowning? Odds of survival from teleporting versus drowning.
Well, the teleporting would only get me out.
Shit.
And I really don't want to go back where I went last time. You can see she sort of holds up her hand and sort of focuses, and after a couple of seconds she says, there's magic in here. It seems to be resonating from around the walls more than anything, but that seems to be it. There's no magic coming from the candle or the floor or the ceiling. It seems to be coming from the walls.
I'm just going to be gathering some oysters and snails and stuff, I guess.
Okay. So
While I try to consider what to do with them.
Yeah, so you're gathering some up. Ogamark, what are you doing? As the water begins to creep up towards waist height.
I'll spend another round smashing out the drain. Why not?
Okay.
No, 15.
Yep. Okay, roll some damage.
8.
Yep, okay.
Do I get like another 2? Do I get all my attacks?
Yeah, make another couple of attacks, sure. As the water gets up a bit higher, you can see it's getting more and more difficult to sort of get at it, but...
Guessing everything basically hits except for a 1.
Yeah. It's not necessarily hard to hit.
I don't know.
Cry. Mourn.
Mourn seems like a good option.
The stairwell leading this side.
33.
33 points?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing changes about it.
So you managed to hit it a few times. It definitely doesn't open per se, but it looks like you've probably dented it enough that a little bit of water would be seeping through. Looks like you've probably bought a little bit of time, but it's definitely not enough to stop the water rising.
If I broke it completely, do I reckon the water would still rise? Is the water pouring in fast enough?
The amount of water that's flowing in, it looks like even when this grate is fully opened, it probably would still fill.
Yeah.
But it would, like, you've
It would
bought,
stop out, yeah.
you've bought probably, an extra 30 seconds maybe before the room
I
fills.
still reckon the rope thing.
Okay, sorry, the staircase that goes where?
Oh, that one. Does that go down?
Yes, yeah.
Do you want to go down there? Or do you want to try this through?
Alright. Have we got any string?
I have rope.
Sure. We're going over this arrow rope shooting.
Okay,
It's only 10 feet.
yeah. So you take a bit of rope and you tie it to the arrow.
And then I'll try and shoot it and counteract the weight of the rope so that it'll fall, hit the candle.
Yeah. I mean, it's... Yeah.
Implied. 29.
Okay. So you have no trouble hitting the candle. So with this large arrow with a arrowhead on it, you hit this candle, which is about an inch round.
Oh, cuts it in half.
And
let you breathe underwater.
it doesn't necessarily cut it in half, but it basically splits the wax out, sort of a big bulk of it, and the candle sort of leans over to one side as the arrow sort of falls back out and drops to the ground.
To the stairs. I'm running to the stairs.
I follow him.
Okay, so you guys are running back that way. Pox will follow you because he doesn't want to be here by himself. So you guys start heading back down that way.
Yep.
Okay, what are you guys doing then?
I'm going to try and force Shigabi out and then get inhabited by Nang Nang.
Okay, so just 1 second actually.
'Cause he's a
5,
grunt
10,
and he might
15,
know
20,
something
25,
about fish
30, 35, 40, 45,
You can ask him
50, 55, 60.
without having to inhabit you.
It's probably going to be about 2 rounds.
What?
Okay.
I think.
Can I talk to Nang Nang?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, ask him if he knows anything about these fish people.
Okay. Where, do you have the character for Nang Nang? Can I just see it for a second? Who is he?
He's the selfish one.
Yeah, okay.
Solid sound.
That's what Murlocs sound like.
Sure.
Maybe not
And sorry, what are you asking him?
No.
If he knows anything about these people, like the
Really
merman
like
or
Skyrim.
merfolk.
No, I haven't seen anything of them in this tomb from where we've been or what I know before.
Don't play it. Don't play it.
This is beyond my knowledge. He doesn't seem to know anything, unfortunately.
Murloc.
I said don't play it.
I wonder if they're like eating them or they like. Why else would they be gathering them other than to eat them?
You can try eating one.
Sure, I'll eat a snail.
Yeah, so you grab a
And an
snail.
oyster. Yeah, both of them. I'll eat both.
Oh.
So you grab an oyster in one hand and a snail in the other, and just sort of jam them into your half orcish. What is wrong with me? Orcish tusked mouth, and begin gnashing and chewing. The soft, gooey insides combined with the hard, sharp shell is quite a mixture. But with that, you feel immensely cold as you're sucked out of the room.
Is it just Scott or all?
All of you.
Get 2 for 2 so far.
I guess.
So, you guys have another
I'm
turn
stupid,
before these
okay.
guys arrive at the stairs.
I did actually consider that early on, but
They're just scraping through like each one before dying.
what do you mean? It's fine. I could have polymorphed into a giant
So,
octopus.
can you both roll
I've
a
been fine for an hour.
D10 for me, please?
This is how many penises on your forehead you have when you're hungry.
Three.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you're together, put it that way. So,
Oh, do we get teleported to different rooms?
as
Oh god.
as you do this, you're sort of, not not expecting anything of it, not paying too much attention. This being such a primal instinct, you're breathing, not paying attention to inhales and exhales.
Why are you doing this? Now I'm paying attention.
As you're slowly breathing in, as you just start an inhale, you are sucked out of the room, and suddenly, as you reappear into another 15 by 15 foot room, your inhalation stops, as there is no air in this room. So, you feel like with the air that you have maybe 20, 30 seconds.
What's in the room?
Okay, so, peering around the room,
So cool beating
you can
us,
see
What if we fart? Can we breathe our own fart? Wait, if you do that, can you feel air? Or is there like nothing?
Fine.
It's a
Spiders
vacuum.
don't need to breathe. I can turn into a spider if it comes to it.
So, around the room, you can see there's the stonework in this room has been immaculately carved. Where the last room had paintings around the room, this one seems to be completely in the stone itself. Carved into the walls all around are tornadoes, trees blowing in the wind, that sort of thing. Cities with roofs being torn off the buildings. On one of the walls, similar to the stone bust in the other room, in this room there is a Arakokra skeleton with a bird
boy.
almost inset into the wall, the bones exposed and half set into the wall. But you can see the wings are raised up and sort of almost on display. You can see in one of its clawed feet, which sort of almost juts out of the wall a little more than the rest of the bones, is an iron sconce holding a candle.
Is it lit?
No, it is not lit.
We need a
Well, there's no oxygen, so.
so
Magical fire.
we need a light.
So,
Very fire.
That's not actual fire, is it?
what
It's about saying to
would
leave us in light on it.
you like to do? And for the sake of it, what are you?
That's
not bad.
Wait, if you go on.
With a terrible intelligence score.
Yeah.
What's your intelligence?
10.
He's a barbarian.
Okay.
Pretty smart for a barbarian.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. So,
Can we talk to each other since there's a vacuum and there's no air?
There'll be no sound waves.
Exactly.
Can I cast spells if there's no sound waves?
Technically, no.
doesn't say anything about
Not talking.
not letting you, so I would say you can.
You're just gonna lose turns from using air.
I reckon we need to light that. Light it. Since like that's probably like one of the hardest things to do is to light the candle without air.
What's the intelligence? Ooh, okay.
So is she in this room with us or is she not?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Ooh. Okay.
Not good.
Is the rolls as how much air we got?
Yep. Turns, essentially.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think he's gonna help you.
So, Keshma sort of stands and looks around the room, takes it in the same as you guys do. A bit of time passes, and you can see a sort of spark as she sort of realizes something. And yes, can speak. I forgot. She says, Arakocra have hollow bones. That's what makes them light, and they can fly.
Would there be air?
Potentially, there could be air in the bones.
What the fuck was that?
Pretty cool.
Better than nothing.
On Snapchat. Yeah,
Actually,
Grab a hand axe out.
Okay.
you need to be careful because you don't want
What?
You need to prioritize lighting the candle, right?
Yeah.
So we can maybe seal a bone, put the candle, light it somehow. Because there's not going to be enough air in his bones to light to fill the room.
So while you guys are doing that, then you guys
Yes.
bolting through this room, dashing a couple of times to get to the top of this staircase. Now, stood at the top of this staircase, looking down, you can see at the bottom of the stairs, it appears to open out into a larger room. But what you can see at the bottom of the stairs, maybe
What's the
5 foot in
pipes?
front of the
Right,
last
cool.
step, is a chest.
Just that.
Aside from that, you can't see anything else. Doesn't look like the room down the bottom of the stairs is lit. It seems to be quite dark down there.
Hot enough metal up to
but
what
that
we
human as well, isn't it?
right?
Sorry.
Box is human.
Yes.
It'll
Yeah.
burn.
I
but
can
not
see.
Catch fire.
Off you go.
There's light at the top of the
Yes.
stairs, which is flickering down and
Yeah.
lighting
Even
enough
if
that you
had
can
a
see the
hand axe
chest.
next- look
Um,
into
Can
the
I
hand
see
axe.
anything else?
Even if we poured oil
having-
on it.
Make a perception for me.
So,
Or I could just go like breathe all my air into the candle and
house.
Not 20!
Okay.
He
I
sees
have
the
an idea,
future.
but I think it might be way too smart for my character.
Yo,
So
Creating
looking down,
oxygen.
um,
Water, and then try to do electrolysis to separate.
you can see.
the hydrogen.
I definitely haven't invented.
You can see.
I said I think it's too smart.
At the bottom
for
of the
character.
stairs,
Too
there
smart for, like,
is
the age.
the chest, which
Yeah, you just
is
need 2 rods, then you need
a
flow
little bit
electricity
out of
for
the
it.
ordinary, just sat in front of a staircase.
Granted, I don't have
What you can
electricity.
see though is
Yeah,
the
I think it's
stonework
electricity.
around the chest,
Maybe she does.
the floor. The stone seems to be lightly packed. The mortar around the stone
Or just
is
pour water
cracked
into the
and
ground
missing
take
in
something
places.
It's a fall away floor.
Mm-hmm.
I could just turn yourself into a fish and jump in the jug.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is about all you can see from where you are, though.
Don't walk down there because the floor will fall out beneath you.
I already knew that.
I'm gonna fill the
The
jug.
metagame.
I'm gonna fill the jug with water.
Yes. Okay.
And then sit it on the
You
floor.
piece of shit, I
If worst
didn't
comes to
know
worst, I
what
can
to
turn
do
into a
after
fish
that.
and jump in.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
That's
Okay,
my
so
plan.
that-
Are you actually
that's-
doing the water electrolysis?
So that's your
No, I don't
action.
think my character
What
knows
is
about the
Ogumar doing?
electrolysis, unfortunately.
I'm gonna just try and. How many like bones are there for like each wing?
Oh, heaps.
Oh, okay.
They vary from like the main structured bone. I don't know what it's called. Is like quite a large bone down to the bones that filter through the wings are quite small. but there's heaps of bones
I'll just do
from
one of the
various
small
sizes.
ones and then see. I'll just try and break it with a hand axe.
Okay.
Just bite it.
Is
stick
it like
air goes in
protruding
your
from the
mouth.
wall, or is it like half in the wall, or is
Yeah, it's sort of like half in, half out.
could I pull it out of the wall then?
Yeah, you could certainly try.
15.
Yeah, easy enough. You find one, big one, small one.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah.
Big one.
Okay, yeah, and you manage to pull it out. It does come out probably a bit easier than you were expecting it to. But yeah, you get it out. It seems to be intact. And, you look around for any cracks or holes or anything. It seems to be sealed.
Gonna like rub it. Well, I'm gonna like use my axe and like chip at it
Okay,
until.
and sort of like try and open a bit
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the intent to breathe it in? Or are you doing something else with it?
No, just to see if air comes out.
Okay. So yeah, you chip a bit off, and there is sort of a gust, almost an expulsion, of what smells like putrid air, but it is air.
How much is it, like compressed air, or is it just?
Yeah, it seems to be under a little bit of pressure. It's not like a canister, but when you chip it off, it does, and sort of a little bit of fine dust sort of scatters around the room. But that is about it. So, what are you guys doing?
We're not going
Get the tinderbox
downstairs.
ready over the candle.
I was
Alright,
going to
I
say,
think we
collect
should.
some of the larger
Hey,
ones.
Pox,
Yeah,
what
we can
about
have
that
them with us
chest?
just in
So let
case
me just check
something goes
because I
wrong as
don't
well.
really.
Yeah, and then we'll get like a
I'm a little
fire
bit
or
confused by
something
this
to
map.
large
Yeah.
ones.
Can I shoot arrows
the
down?
candle.
Yeah.
Shoot arrows at everything.
We can walk carefully and see more of the
So
room.
have like someone chip at
What
it.
if they
and then
turn
have
into
someone,
a slide like Crash Bandicoot?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's why I
sorry.
said walk carefully.
Like,
looking
since
out
we're
for things
technically
like
not
that.
in the initiative, can we
Sure,
tell
spawn traps again.
How many
dipshit
spells
to
have
grab
we
some
got?
bones off the
Three.
wall?
Second levels.
Yeah, Kashma, yeah.
If she
Have
sees
you already
me
used one?
like air come back, and we just like tell her for her
Well,
action
the
to
other
grab
second
Yeah,
level spells
yeah.
I have.
collecting bones.
Collect
Cool.
some, but don't open them yet.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay.
Pass without trace unless
so
frustration.
I'll just retcon that description a little bit because there's sort of two levels to this. But
No, it's
basically,
the second level.
oh no, just the way the map's drawn is a little bit weird. So, the room that it opens out into isn't dark; it is lit, and it appears to open out into a large room.
Oh, okay. Is it circular or square?
Well, you can't tell from where you are, but it's a large room. You can't see any of the other walls
Is
at
it
this
still
point.
like lightly mortared?
Yeah, the area you can see around the chest is.
I
Yeah.
don't think we would have got this one if Kashma wasn't here.
Can
And
I
the bones being hollow.
see if the steeds look like they're trapped? Or
Yep, make an
Yeah, lightly
investigation. Yeah, turns out Kashma's pretty intelligent.
hoggers?
Oh, so she might know
Or just
about
one random fact
electrolysis.
she knows.
Yeah, there's just that one piece of knowledge. What'd you get?
Investigation?
Yeah,
10. 20. Sorry.
20.
20.
Okay.
10 plus 10.
Yeah, you have a little bit of a look, trying to avoid putting any weight on the steps, and just have a look for any pressure plates or tripwires, anything that would give away a sense of a trap. You do find that there's not in particular pressure plate on any of the steps or anything, but it looks like if enough weight is applied to the staircase as a whole, it might trigger something.
I'm going to get some more rocks.
Okay, sure.
I'm going to put them on the stairs.
Are you going to get them from the same room that you threw them
We're
into?
closer,
So
Get it back out.
we're closer to the bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah, we'll grab
yeah,
them.
you're pretty close to the mirror room
Yeah.
where.
Mirror room. I'll get some of the gargoyle and just a big chunk of the gargoyle.
Okay, it's going to take you a little while to go and get that and come back, like a couple of turns at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, they're dying, so.
Okay, what are you guys doing? So Kashma goes and grabs a couple of bones, as many as she can sort of handle without risk of dropping them, maybe 5 or 6, and sort of stands there sort of ready. It looks like Kashma probably had a bit more air than you guys do. She seems to be holding her breath a lot more comfortably.
Used to go down.
But yeah, she stands there sort of with an expecting look, waiting to see what
So,
plan
yeah,
you
I'm
have.
gonna ready the tinderbox
that was
over the candle,
It really was,
and
wasn't it?
when I'm
Okay.
ready, try
I'm
and
gonna
try and like get
hold
them
the
all to
bone.
like a fine point.
Yeah, we'll carve it down till it's got a very hollow bit.
Okay.
And then
get ready for the tinderbox and see if we can light the candle.
Sounds like
Okay.
a lot of work.
So,
you got better.
sort of
Go in.
quickly explaining it, trying to not expel very much air. You give a quick description of what you're going to do, and take your knife and sort of skin it, and all together, sort of each holding a different part, and manage to, with the puff of air, strike the tinder, and sparks emit, and a small amount of flame does, and you see it sort of hit the wick, and the wick flickers for a second and then immediately disperses. But it does look that for a split second the candle was lit.
Methane's pretty flammable.
So
Breathe on it.
that's a turn
Belch on it.
technically. So what else? And what are you doing? Are you helping him or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said he's in charge of us right now.
Okay.
Because I don't
Alan
know
attack
what
goes
to do.
down the stairs.
So
Not to that level.
Oh, we didn't really say.
after that, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and gather up some bones and breathe them in.
Okay. So you do the same thing. You skin a bit of the
Take a
bone
breath.
and breathe it in.
I'm fucking high right now.
It's putrid air. It tastes like it sort of smells and inhales as if you're breathing in rotten flesh.
Dead
It's
people.
quite bad.
You're undead Pakokra.
You'd like that.
You're a fart.
fetish.
You're a
You
fart
fetish.
sniffer, aren't you, Scott?
So you
Inside of bones.
skin a bit of the bone and breathe it in. The putrid air fills your lungs, and suddenly you feel almost as if a balloon being puffed up. The amount of air that rushes into your lungs as you are sucked out of this
Oh,
room
it was that simple.
and appear in another.
We didn't even have to light the candle.
Gotta breathe undead
Still
Pakokra.
have to light the candle. That'd be
So-
lighting the candle would have been way harder.
Yeah.
room-
What's the hardest thing you could do? Light the candle without air. Let's try and do that.
The room that you arrive in is a lot more earthy. The stone isn't the stone that you're familiar to. It's
I love air. That's not
yes, it is filled with air. The room that you arrive in has unworked stone around the outside. The reliefs show desert sands swallowing cities. A robed Medusa dominates one of the walls. So a painting of a Medusa on one of the walls. Wearing, very similar to the other pieces of art you've seen around the tomb, it's a painted depiction with a real sort of part to it. In this case, it's a stone necklace hanging around the neck.
More necklace.
In the center of it appears to be a dark stone, perhaps obsidian or basalt. And in one hand clutches an iron sconce with a red candle burning in it. With this, slowly, similar to the first room, but a lot less hot, sand begins to pour from small holes in the ceiling. And make a perception.
I have advantage on perception, right? Because of
9.
Papa Zodal.
It's gonna work every time. It's gonna be
Yeah?
Advantage on wisdom checks.
Yes.
He's dick. He's an absolute god.
Nat 20.
Okay. You distinctly hear, while you're sort of distracted by the sand, you distinctly hear beneath you.
Are we in an hourglass?
So,
I'm just going
you arrive back.
outside.
You arrive back
Now, worst
carrying
comes to worst. I can
as
play
much
with
of
the
these
Scorpion.
corpses as you can.
Yes, I love
And
corpses.
what do you want to do with them?
Throw them down the stairs.
Okay.
Place them on the stairs.
Okay. I was just looking for somewhere I can draw a quick little map. Or just so I can get an idea of sort of what's happening.
I think it's at the chest afterwards.
Can you polymorph into bacteria?
I don't think so.
Bacteria.
It needs to be a beast of some sort. So.
We are scum.
Is it tardigrade a beast?
So this is the staircase that you're stood.
Prokaryote
That you're at.
Yeah.
So are you stood like right at the top of the steps, to like throwing this in?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
What is that room?
So
You don't.
you
want to
throw down the amount of corpse that you're carrying.
The USB room.
and you hear a distinct Elnatak stood back a little bit. You see a hatch right above Garth open as a massive boulder begins to drop.
Oh,
Make a
fuck.
dexterity saving throw.
Too bad I'm not there.
Thank fuck it's not me.
Actually, I don't think levitate would help because the boulder would still have momentum, right?
18.
Don't worry, plus
Okay.
20.
Okay, so with that,
You should have
just
hit on the
you manage to
He's
quickly,
fucking
with
stuck
the quick shout of Elnatak, you manage to jump back just out of the way as this boulder smashes to the ground, cracking the stonework beneath where you were stood, and it tumbles down the stairs, gaining momentum as it goes. It hits this chest, smashing it as the stonework drops out from beneath, and you see froth and steam and greenish fluid splash as this stone collapses in what appears to be an acid pool beneath.
Oh my god.
You're fine.
What was the DC check for that?
18. So,
Oh boy.
again. Not bad.
would you guys like to do?
If I didn't have Ijin or Vite.
Medusa.
What?
I was thinking Medusa.
Yeah, I kind of want to take the necklace off of her neck.
Holy shit.
Terrible idea, but I'm gonna roll percentage die to see if I'm stupid enough to do it.
Also, sorry, so with your perception, I forgot to mention, you look down after hearing that tick, 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 and you notice there is a seam running around this room. So, basically, the room you're stood in is like this, and you notice a seam which runs around the room like this, with another one down the middle. Almost as if the entire floor, aside from a couple of inches on the outside, is a door that might open.
Alright, I'm gonna stand on the outside bit. Is it thick
Okay.
enough that I can stand there?
It's like you would assume if that was all you had to stand on, it would be incredibly tough. But you like sort of preempting that the floor might collapse. You sort of space yourself,
And I let them know.
what might be
The
best.
floor might very well open.
Open. Sesame.
But yeah, I'm gonna. Under 50, I grab the necklace.
Oh, that's not the acid
No,
pool. is it?
52. I don't grab the necklace. I consider it. And I'm like, should I?
Well,
Bad
is it-
idea, right?
Well, there's ticking, so I feel like the floor might open.
It's a papa.
Okay.
Do you think we should grab the necklace?
What else is in the room? There's just
Sand, Medusa, a necklace.
Eat the sand.
Okay. So
breathe the sand.
Be the sand.
you got
Fire.
a nat 20, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Candle
So
the sand.
Well, Papa Zerdle got a nat 20.
okay. Something else you would notice then on one of the walls, there is a faint seam about door sized around it.
Leroy.
But that is it for your nat
I
20.
reckon you put the necklace against the door. The back door.
Do you want to try opening the door while I go and grab the necklace?
Sure. Strength check.
Okay, you just want to, like try and force it open one way or the other.
The 10.
Yeah, you try and, like, force it. There's no handle to grasp, and the seam isn't big enough to sort of pull, or you sort of, like, shoulder butt it a few times, but it doesn't seem to budge.
Yeah.
Once I get high level, if I get a roll under my strength, I get to take my actual strength.
Jesus.
What?
It's like level 15 or something.
Imagine
Is that
with, like,
including
a
modifier, though, or is
frost
it-
No,
giant.
it's just
Yeah,
strength
yeah,
check.
like-
It's
So
just your
what did
strength.
he say?
If
So
I'm
it does
rolling
a strength
strength
check.
and I get under 17, I just take 17.
Yeah, but is that
Holy
with the
shit.
modifier or is that the number on the die?
It's just
No,
it's
it's
just
23
that
all
number.
the time.
I take that.
Yeah. So if you roll a
Maybe not
16,
above
you'd still get a 16 plus 3, not 17.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a 17
Gotta get a
plus
23 all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, fair enough.
Doesn't
So
really matter.
you're doing that. What are you doing with the
I'm
necklace?
gonna avoid looking at the Medusa
Take the
and
necklace.
take the necklace off.
Okay, you grab it, but it seems to
Yeah,
actually be
that's what
stuck.
Armory
It
has.
doesn't look like it's removable from the wall.
Damn.
Does it look like his necklace, the one, the skull?
No, this is sort of a diamond-shaped. Now that you're up close to it, actually make an investigation as you're
You
interacting.
might roll another nat 20. You pussy.
You're right, I suck at investigation.
Random irrelevant questions are probably.
That's a
not
5.
Would we keep the gods if we left it to them?
No.
We don't
So,
know.
Why would they want to be inhabited?
so
Well, they're spirits. That's what I'm doing.
They just want to get
yeah,
angry.
you sort of have a look at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to shift. It looks like it's sort of stuck into the stonework, and it's some sort of black stone.
Alright, can I pop the stone out, but I don't have a dagger, so I don't really know how I'd pop the stone out.
Make a sleight of hand for me.
Fuck yeah.
You and your sleight of hand. What do you got?
+7.
Shit. Why do you have +7 on
That's
sleight?
a 9.
You're
So-
on 2.
With a 9,
Yes, sir. Shit.
you sort of try and pop it out, and you sort of can't quite get a grasp on it, so you take a dagger and sort of begin to sort of jimmy it a little bit. And not quite being nimble and not thieving hands don't quite know which way to lever it, and sort of slip and punch it, and you stood at the door, it seems to unlatch and open.
So you just have to push on it?
I did it!
It's almost like if you got a high roll, then you would have been fucked.
No
So-
way.
That would have been hilarious.
So
You are
come back
one lucky
to you guys.
motherfucker.
With that, the sand sort of stops.
You have the performance to act like you did that.
I knew that was a button this whole time.
So
You know you gotta roll.
what are you guys doing?
Oh, not if
Is
it's
it performance or a persuasion?
Is the staircase still there? Or is
Or-
it just like a slide?
The stairs are fine.
It is a 5
The stairs
plus
are-
7.
Yeah.
Is there any laning
I
that
think
we
I
can
got
see
0
that
on
wasn't
the inside.
destroyed?
I got a 12.
Yeah, it was 0.
Looks like
Haha.
the bit that opened up is sort of just enough to sort of take away,
Good job.
you know,
I have
anything that
fucking
might be
double
standing around the
proficiency
chest.
in
Looks like you
sleight
could
of hand.
probably still maneuver to the
I
rest
got
of the
plus
room
1 because
from the bottom of the staircase.
Yeah, right. That's how it looks. Is
Okay, so you make your way down.
Carefully, like you
Shit.
should probably
Stealth
try.
on fin.
plus 10 on persuasion.
So standing as you like make your way onto the stairs, you feel it again, but nothing
This is the
happens
first
as
time we
it's
went
already been
teleport out
triggered.
of a room.
Yeah, it's probably the end.
So
Hopefully.
as you make your way down, you can see there are
Let's-
4
let's
marble
not split the
columns
treasure with
around
you.
this room.
is that square?
Better be
or
true.
circular?
It is a square
Fuck yeah,
room,
it's just like,
be.
your reward
and
is
it
you get
appears
to
to
leave.
be. I will change the map in a minute
Gotta be a magical item
to
after
display
all
a
that,
couple
right?
of things, but
Depends. Hopefully.
you can see
Some sort of
It's
rod
just
of
like-
that this
instant
is a grand tomb. It
It's
looks
you
like
get a bow. No,
a
it's
room
like
with
me.
a sarcophagus in the middle.
It's like this great
But this
bow.
one seems to be a
It's
little
not
more
enough.
decorative, a little more extravagant than a lot of the others you've seen.
Ooh.
You can see twin staircases on either side of the room extend up to an upper gallery, where a carving, in the form of a giant maze adorns the back wall.
So the stairs go up.
I wonder if you looked at the
Yep.
Medusa, you would have turned to stone. That would have been funny.
I don't know. Don't want to
On the
test it out,
floor-
honestly. Hey, listen.
An opaque crystal
Look at the
sarcophagus is present in the middle of the room. The sarcophagus is constantly changing colour, almost like a child's LED toy.
I think we did.
Probably.
Very,
yeah, that's the
very slowly changing from amber to red to green through a few different colours.
Do you guys think we're dead?
Do we need to note the colour?
Oh, I'll come back to
should
the
roll
colours
for
if it's relevant.
See if you think
Every
I'm
time
dead.
someone just disappears from the party, they just continue.
Yeah, you guys are the worst. So I was saying just before you got here, I was saying for the new campaign, we should discuss like death because you guys do not give a fuck when people die. You're like,
Kid
it
when
was like,
Dexter died.
it was like fucking Nick, was it Nick's,
Eagle.
Nick's character? Like,
No, but he's coming back.
it was
alive.
literally like
He's not dead.
he didn't even die. He got eaten. Like
Yeah, he's not dead.
not eaten. He got
Swallowed.
swallowed. And then he had something like 10 turns, and you guys were like, yeah, he's
Yeah, but he was 60 feet
No,
underwater.
he's alive.
yeah,
He's
but
still
like
alive.
no attempt was made at all.
He is still alive.
Anyway, sorry.
We had full,
So
we had full faith in him.
all around this
I
room
think that's how we should have too much faith.
are murals, which seem to be the main depiction amongst the murals. Is minotaurs. There seems to be various minotaurs scattered throughout the room.
So there is Minotaur.
Found it. It's the Minotaur built city.
yeah.
So I will
Yes.
update the maps. So just give me 2
King of
seconds.
Yeah, possibly.
We found the Minotaur built city, guys.
Because if that's the case,
this
I was pretty fucked.
Oh, Minotaur.
Minotaur!
Wait, why are you fucked?
This could possibly be the...
Wait. That
Yeah, yeah.
looks... Whoa, what's that?
That's where they are.
So
So wait,
That's where they are.
Is that where we're
I thought
getting
the
off?
door. I thought the door
We're
was
in a
there.
different spot.
Are we not meant to see this shit?
no, I think you can. That's not
Is that the teleport room?
Can I open this?
I assume so.
Both? Actually,
Oh no, that's
that's-
where they take the corpses.
No, that's that's where you go when you teleport.
Yeah.
I think you guys can see pretty much the whole thing now because you've explored every.
Oh.
Or unless that's where they take the corpses. Is there rope in there? Like,
Is there rope in there?
well, I'll put my rope in the mask.
Fuck you guys.
No, I reckon that's where. That's probably where you get teleported, and that's also.
So,
I'm scared of where we are though.
But why is that mask lit?
Fuck is it? Should we be able to see these rooms?
yeah, it's fine.
Probably not this one though.
Let me just block it off.
Yeah, no, it's all fine. They're not as secret as they look on the map. Trust me. So,
Fuck the
for start, oh shit. Can you rotate that screen back around for me?
This one?
Yeah, yeah.
You spin me.
I thought the door was there, not the side of the Medusa.
Yeah, true.
It's drawn a little bit weird. The maps
Oh,
are
no.
the maps are a little bit.
It doesn't really
The model
matter.
is point. We get teleported, so we don't have any idea of orientation.
No, we don't get teleported, do we?
No,
No,
this
no,
has
no.
been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought like the Medusa was there and the candle was there and the door was like over here or something. Over to the side.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Oh yeah, I got that relatively.
All right.
Oh yeah, I got that relatively accurate actually.
oh god.
You did that, Johnny.
That's great. I approve.
He's like that fucking cat that.
Hey, who does the camera want?
Cat in the Hat?
So, just put your characters back in the room for a second.
Because we're not all gonna.
Okay. So as the door swings open, in front of you,
He's nothing.
It's just like Minesweeper.
I actually don't know how to play Minesweeper, so good thing you're here.
Really?
It's
You're a fucking idiot.
I don't know what the numbers mean.
How many
What
bombs
do
are
the
surrounding
numbers
that
mean,
square?
That tile.
Yeah.
Alright, I tried to fix the camera position. It's a bit better.
Or
show
how far
something
away
at
it is
least.
from a bomb.
You don't have to
Is
light
there a
one up,
certain
you have to
radius
delay
or-
one, so.
yeah.
Exactly
Oh,
adjacent.
yeah, right. I see what you're saying.
It's the night around it, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it is.
What are you on about?
I thought it was that, but then I played it, and then I was like,
Oh yeah, that light. So the next thing I'm going to get, by the way, is a fill light, like a box light, so that there's no glare.
Nice.
Because it's really triggering. Can you just move that cable off the screen for me?
Good old soft
oh, that's
lights.
my bad, guys. My
Yeah,
bad.
because these lights are super triggering.
Don't yank it up. No, really.
So, peering through this doorway, you can actually move through. I thought something was going to happen, but it's not. So if you want to, you can move out into this room. Now, for the purpose of this, and this is going to spoil a little bit, I think, but for the purpose of this, your conversation needs to be minimal.
Yeah. Oh.
Because there is in-game importance to it.
No, as in outside conversation has been minimal.
Yeah, just like you're discussing what you're
Yeah.
going to do and stuff. Like if you're just chatting across the room, that's fine. But like discussing what you're going to do and stuff, we'll come to it in a minute. But so as you peer through into this room, you can see this large room in the center is a sarcophagus. But the greater thing that grabs your attention is the 48 terracotta soldiers, which stand in unison, one hand resting on sword hilt, all stood perfectly still, seemingly statuesque. You can see there's the odd piece of broken pottery around the room. And on the far side, you can see a faint glowing from what appears to be a rune of some description. Now, a couple of things that happen is where? Do you have who has Wongo?
Me.
Yeah, you do. Okay. You hear Wongo in your mind. You should smash as many of these soldiers as you can before they animate.
If I smash one, will they all animate after I smash one?
Not if you move quickly.
Quickly.
So that is all you hear. Um,
Well, I'll relay that to the others.
okay, so I want you to make a stealth check.
All of us?
Just him for now.
Cool.
14.
Okay, so you seem to you say Wongo wants me to smash all these, etc., etc.
Yeah.
With seemingly no effect.
So, were soldiers smashed up?
It doesn't look like they were full soldiers, but perhaps chips of other soldiers, where they've been damaged, has fallen across the room.
And can we move between like that?
Yeah, it looks like you probably could with a sidestepping between a few of them. You could move through them.
And then there's 3 runes.
Yeah, peering around, you can see there is a few. So the one opposite you seems like just a faint glow coming from it. The one from the right is the same. The one to your left appears to be sort of glowing, but occasionally flickering, and the glow from it begins to crackle and fade away, and then burst back into existence. But
Did she have detect magic? Or can we do an arcana check? One of you guys or something?
I can
Do an
detect
arcana
magic.
check.
Do you
See.
suspect something?
They're runes.
Well, yes, that's true.
Runes mean magic, don't they?
Yeah, so she sort of concentrates and sort of she says, well, yes, there's definitely magic coming from it. The one on the left seems to be faulty or having trouble connecting to something. I don't know what they do, but they're definitely magical.
Force signal. Alright, Kashmir, do you have any sort of AoE? Yeah.
Oh, I should have.
Delay fire.
Okay.
Yeah, delay fire.
She's so with her saying that, and this woman who's a little bit up herself, a little bit flamboyant. That may not be the right word, but sort of says, yeah, a little bit arrogant. Says, well, yes, they're magical, obviously. And as she says that, all 48 of the statues, all of their heads rotate in unison and stare at her.
Hey, do you have any sort of spells that can hit all of them at once by any chance?
Well, they
I'm going to say this quietly because they all turn.
Yeah, so make a stealth check.
Scott,
Just for...
9.
Okay. So you whisper it a little bit. They all still seem to be fixated on you three stood at the door now. She says, no, not really. Her sort of now wising up to it sort of lowers her voice a little bit, taken aback by these soldiers staring at her. She says, well, no, I'm much more capable with mold than magic, but I have some.
So she's more like him. More fighter.
You want to be a giant ape?
I reckon that's the last thing we should resort to.
Well, they're all looking at you now.
If I walk down a bit, are they still looking at her, or someone looking at me, or?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, walk down. Like
We'll require a stealth check.
Where's Finnan when you need him?
16.
Okay, so you step down this hallway, attempting to avoid as much broken terracotta as possible, which you manage to do fairly well. The odd piece cracks beneath your step, but it seems fine. But yes, they all seem to still be fixated on the doorway where you came in.
If I was there, I could do pass without trace.
Speaking of that then, while these guys have a think, do I have a tag on here? I do. Let me grab another tag real quick. These
Chamber or
stick-ons are fantastic.
Do the other levels have names?
Yeah. So,
Do you know?
not off the top of my head. Do you want to just move your dice tray a little bit? Okay, so, with the glare shining in from these lights...
No, that's actually on the map. Get
You guys arrive in this room,
In Narnia.
avoiding... where's the other... Where is Tim? Where is
Where is Tim?
Garth?
Where the fuck am I?
Your mini is
What the fuck?
capable of
Yo.
interplanar travel. I swear to God.
Holy shit.
Oh, it's over here.
Oh.
Lol, 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 lol.
Well, we're not exactly where we are because that's where the lava is.
Yeah.
Acid.
You guys sort of managed to make your way into the room.
Green lava.
So, what you can see around the room are doors into. Well, you can't see what they're into, but you can see there are doors scattered around the room.
I picked that one.
So you can make your way over to them, but you find any of the doors that you go to. Let me just check real quick, but I believe they're locked. I noted this down, I think. I don't know what that was.
What?
What was that?
I don't know.
It's the music.
I don't think it was, but.
Just tell him that anyway.
10 grand donation.
Oh yeah.
Job cat lab.
Oh, did you read a while ago there
I
was this kid that was like giving out like massive donations on his parents' credit card and then cancelling.
Yeah.
And then he got caught and they made him pay it out.
Yeah.
Well,
His parents would have been mega pissed.
okay.
It's not really their fault though.
No.
So, what gods
should
do you
raise
guys
better
have
children.
inhabiting?
Asian.
And Kumazan.
Wow, that's coincidentally the two that have something to do with this room. So,
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Ta-da!
Injan says, who's Injan?
Me.
Can I see
He's the rabbit.
sheet
Oh, sure.
for a second?
Do you anything one?
Unpredictable. Ah, that's right.
No.
It's like the sarcophagus could probably be open, but you should do it when it's gold. I
Gold.
do like gold.
Gold, I like it.
Who's Kubazan? Can I see that for a second?
Yeah,
Yeah,
God,
you-
stupid.
You don't really follow your floor, do you?
Yeah, yours. Yeah.
Oh,
Like, you
we're
don't-
fucked.
I haven't had anyone been that I bow for them yet,
Kubazan.
You haven't commanded someone to do it. Oh,
He
yes,
says-
sir.
though. Yeah, I follow
Oh.
it passively.
That maze looks
Doesn't
interesting.
do what I say.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look.
But I don't really
we
suggest
should
stuff for people to do.
touch it.
Yeah.
We should touch it. And that's what you hear.
Your gods are shit.
So,
We should offer a god to her.
what was I looking
And
at?
the
The doors.
pots.
Sorry.
Yeah. Ask her, does she want
Pox.
Oh yeah.
to be able to turn invisible?
He's with us though.
I think that is that. I think I've got 2 tracks running. I do.
Don't tell her the floor though. We'll just tell her that she can turn in. Wait. Daxter had the floor to always tell the truth when you had Noah.
Hey, wait a minute.
No, but we didn't ask him any questions like that.
Didn't we?
Not really.
Not,
I mean, kind of.
Not
We
I'm
did.
aware of.
We did ask him if he went invisible or just teleported away, and he tried to hide the answer. He didn't lie though.
Yeah, but you always must speak the truth. Yeah, just speaking. When you speak, yeah. Just speak the truth.
The other ones. Because we need one for Sword Boy as well.
That's all good.
Okay, yeah. So you can see these doors around the room. They appear to be sliding doors. They're all closed.
Like 720 mil.
Yeah, I've got this.
And building jokes.
We did it because we work for building people.
So
Is that your new character's voice?
they all do appear
Bob
to
the
be.
Builder.
They all do appear to be closed at the moment. Well, they are all closed. They don't appear to be. They are closed. So, what would you like to do?
Can I see the sarcophagus turn gold at any point?
Yeah, if you wait long enough. So it seems to be cycling through. It goes from a shade of blue to gold to purple to green to black to red.
Blue, gold, purple, green,
Black red.
black, red. Just making sure. you guys
But
all-
yeah, if you wait a little bit of time, it does.
How long does
turn
it take between each one?
gold. It doesn't seem to be a constant
I know
changing. It
he's
just seems to
inhabited.
occasionally change.
Don't
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know he's inhabited, don't I?
Yeah. You guys had a big circle jerk where you threw different gods at each other while you were away. So yes,
Classic.
everyone
Yeah,
is
Tim
aware
like
of
got
it.
in. Tim was like the god slut.
Yeah.
Got in habit bubble.
God Slut sounds like a great title.
You're the fucking
Yeah,
you're the
don't
god
you fucking
slut.
do
No,
it.
I'm the god
God
order.
slut.
He let him. All
He's the
inside
god
of him.
pimp.
You paid him.
So
Not with money.
I asked Bath if his dad's told him anything.
Who's Bath?
Don't. I asked Garth.
Garth.
Who's Garth?
What the fuck?
I asked Mr. Sky
Eden
Scorcher.
says to open the sarcophagus while it is gold.
Yeah, well, Kubazan told me to go and touch the maze.
Krubazan's a dickhead.
I tell you,
Your
Hitchens
guns
is
are so
dickhead.
dumb.
I'm not the one going into a labyrinth. Do
Probably shouldn't open the sarcophagus.
you want to do both at the same time?
I would have said yes.
We
Can
kind
I,
of have to stop each other from doing each other's one.
can I inspect the right slide door?
You can if you want.
I want to inspect all the sliding doors.
Okay.
Dead people. Dead people. Over and
Enemies
over.
can't wait till that hits us.
So you go around, you check these doors. It looks like they can actually be opened.
Mm.
Do you want to crack one open?
Sure.
Okay, you slide it open, and this room seems to contain the bones of what seems to be 1 to 3 minotaurs. Looks like that would have been full of minotaurs at some point, but they've all since died and decayed, rotted away to nothing
What
but
a shit
bones.
trap.
This is nothing else but bones.
No. So you do notice these doors seem to have a bit of pressure on them, and they sort of, when you release it, they slide back to shut. But there doesn't appear to be any lock on them.
Can I light the bones on fire and destroy them?
If you want, it will take a little while, and bones are a little bit questionable to burn, but you can certainly try. Elnatak, what are you
Char 'em
doing
nice and
in the meantime?
Grind them into a paste.
I'm staying.
Turn 'em into glue.
Yeah,
Bone meal.
Turn them into glue.
Okay.
and I've told Pox to stay near both of us.
You turn around to tell Pox to stay close, and you basically face to face with him. He's like, "Yep, I'll do that."
Make sure neither of us do our thing that we're being told to do.
Yep. Sure.
He's
He has no idea
He
what
has
you're talking
no
about.
idea what
So,
the fuck we're
what
talking
are
about.
you guys doing?
He's like, yeah, sure. Fine touch.
I'll retrace my steps
He
back,
just thinks I'm fucking crazy.
and then I'll ask
Fine touch. Fine traps again?
I'll ask Keshma if she wants this staff, which is possessed by Moa, so she should be able to turn invisible.
She make an insight check.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Tony.
Okay. As she sort of stutters a little bit and says, "No, that's okay. I'd rather keep my senses." But you can see she's sort of hiding something when you ask her that.
That's why I wanted to have it, so she has to speak the truth.
She's got Krubazan. No, Unk. Maybe.
Oh, that'd be
Jesus Christ.
Alright, do you want to be invisible?
Who wants to do something?
I want to open another. I want to check all of the sliding doors.
Okay, so you go around and eventually you find this one over here because I know that's what you're looking for.
Good job.
Yay! What if we nang and just walk along the roof?
I think that'd really make us less stealthy.
What do you mean? Yes, it would.
If it's
Don't worry, I'm not there.
It's not big
So,
stuff. It's just
It's not like an interactive map where you click on something.
if it's only noise,
So,
secret
you open this room.
around.
by chance.
And immediately you can see that at the end of the hallway there's a glowing orb of... No, that's just the light reflecting on the screen. So-
Two orbs.
Now I get it. Now I can see where the light's reflecting on the map.
Sorry, so... What am I looking at? This room. So, you can see this room is very similar to the others. Bones are strewed across the floor.
Screwed across
What's
the
a little
floor.
bit odd is at the back of this room there is a thin hallway which seems to lead down around the corner. Do you want to head down there?
Not yet.
Okay. Now I want to. Is that where you're going with this?
No.
Okay, sure.
I want the
We should-
immovable.
we
I want
should-
the immovable rod.
It's a good idea.
Because I know that these doors come back.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to like put it in front of the door
So
and
open
clip
the
it?
door, click it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait here, I'll attack.
I'll let that happen.
So,
Okay,
let
so
you
you're
wait.
hanging back.
I'll
If
So-
it's noise master, shouldn't you have
I've
walk
got the
through?
rod, so I have to
Walk
do
through
it.
there.
Oh, I've got the rod now.
No, now the door's got the rod.
you need to be stealthy.
So
Pretty sure if you're invisible, you
The
have
rod's
advantage
got
on
the
stealth.
door.
you head down. Who had Wongo?
I've got.
He does.
Oh. Okay.
We'll have something to say about this room.
So you head
Wongo
down,
knows everything.
and as you make your way down this narrow hallway, you slowly hear more and more clearly. Clunk, 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 clunk. This sort of rhythmic timing and clicking. As you make your way down,
To the beat.
you come around the corner, and on the far side you see a wooden cabinet, which is adorned with numbered dials along the top of it. Two ornate metal spokes sort of poke out at a couple of the numbers. Beneath the dial, a pendulum swings in an open compartment with an egg-shaped stone hanging from a pendulum below. It's essentially a large grandfather clock.
Mm.
Can you relate this back to me?
Yeah. Hey, on attack.
There's a thing down here that's got a swinging thing on the bottom of it. It's pointing at some numbers.
So what numbers are at point
I just yell at him not to fuck with it.
It is currently. Do I really have to roll for this?
It's a lot of die.
Yeah, no, I don't know why it does it like this.
Because in 3.5, instead of having stealth, you had hide and move silently. So you had 2 rolls to make.
It's currently 27 past 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Is that the actual time? Or is that just what the
Oh
clock says?
shit!
Can we change
We
that?
have a clock now.
Mate, I think yours is almost 12 hours out. Okay, bye.
So that is it. What god do you have?
Itching.
Okay. So you hear engine. It's very satisfying, isn't it? We could stay a while and just relax and listen. So with that, what would you like to do?
Oh, apparently it's pronounced Ijin.
Come on, Tim, pick up again.
We've discussed this before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're just wrong. What
Yeah.
Tim's saying.
Mine's Shogombi.
Papa Zartul.
Yeah, they're all.
Kubazan.
They all sound. They all sound fucking dumb if you go by the pronunciation of the sheet.
No, it's 9!
Jesus.
Come on, Scott.
Nang nang.
Oh, then mine's
Okay.
Kubazan.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so
God.
what does everyone want to do?
Fuck
Jeez.
it is.
Fucking rip headphones. So, what would you like to do?
Rest in peace, people.
Everybody. Oh, us or them?
Either or at this point.
Go on. Yeah, it done.
Seeing there's no immediate threats to anybody.
Yeah.
You are on the 4th level of a tomb where insta-death is around every corner and you have separated the party, so...
Not by choice.
You didn't mean to.
Yeah, guys. Come on,
You guys could have just not done anything.
You could have just not fucking disappeared.
Even if we were still there watching, we still wouldn't be in there with you.
Okay, so...
Can I see the clock change?
What do you mean?
If I wait and watch it.
Yeah. As the
I
pendulum
thought
swings,
you
the
needed 6
minute
to
hand slowly
somehow.
with every swing.
I reckon you
I
should do
say,
it like
I say
check
that
on the
you
rings.
come back out and we'll check out everything else.
I'm coming out of the closet.
You heard it here first.
He did it!
So,
That wasn't in character, it wasn't in his voice. That's real life.
so what do you want to do? What's everyone doing?
That was actually Olivia.
No, that was you.
Well,
That was Tim too good.
Mark
How's it
Arcana
on
checks
stream?
pretty average.
I don't think an Arcana will really do anything.
I think we should check
This
out the
is-
rest of the room before we fuck
No.
with anything.
Well, I've already checked all the sliding
Because
doors.
it's
Yeah,
just
but
said
there's still more to the
that it's
room
trying
to
to link
check
to
out.
something.
Like,
Like where
Yeah,
the
but I think
maze is.
An Arcana check's more just like looking at something and being like, it has runes on it, it's magical sort of
I
thing.
did a
It's
Breath
not
of the
really
Wild
like
over
this rune's
recently.
trying to link to.
Yeah, it's the same as
Same.
detect magic. Like detect magic tells
beat
you
it.
that
We've
it
got
is
this.
magical, but it doesn't
good
necessarily
at
tell
drawing
you
maps.
what it is or what it does.
You're good at breaking shit.
Arcana, similar.
Headphones.
Arcana could be used to read the rune if it's sort of translatable in terms of anything like
Do you want
that.
to go look up the map?
But that is a
well,
bit.
still
Are all the runes the same symbol?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all number 4.
They're literally what they are.
I am
So,
number
up
4.
this first.
You should check out the map first.
What do you?
Suck off.
Actually, technically they're
We
not all the
should,
same.
What's his name? Should-
Pox.
Why is
Pox.
this?
We should probably
Yeah.
explain the situation to Pox
That
while
one's
we're
pointing
arguing about
different
this.
No.
No, those
No,
those two are
'cause
pointing the same.
he's
That
gotta
one's
stop
pointed
one of this.
differently.
Well, not stop, but just
Oh, yeah.
suggest. No, but we should get his opinion without
should
the
go to that
influence
one.
of any gods.
Yeah, but they're not
That's
the same
true,
anyway.
but
Because
he's
that's
been
like
trapped
that's the
here.
fall. That's a backwards fall.
He fucked up.
No one's a backwards fall.
We fucked up plenty of times.
Yeah,
So that
but
one's a
we've
fall.
made it.
But that's the one that's out.
Xenos did the exact same fuck up that he did.
What's this?
Pox
What did Pox do?
got trapped by the mirror.
Yeah, they do have the same.
I still think we
The
should
same
explain
route.
the situation to him.
Okay.
Don't actually
we-
tell him.
Does it look like we can like move it, like rotate it? It's
Only
not
tell
sitting
each
on
other.
It's
What?
basically inscribed
What
into a
said.
large
Yeah,
stone on
we
the
already
ground.
Is the stone
and
square
then
or circle?
warn
Circle.
him.
So it's like a
If something
large
happens.
5-foot
So if I tell you
stone,
don't touch it,
sort of
that's when you warn him.
like dais,
Well,
like
yeah,
a sort
yeah.
of raised platform
I
with
know.
this inscribed onto it.
Go over here.
You don't
Yep,
have to
okay.
do what the gods say.
I'm gonna try
We
and
don't
spin
have
it
to.
so that
Oh.
end of the floor is
Oh.
pointing inwards towards.
Okay, you
That's what
try and
changed
move it.
everything.
It looks like it's
Ah, yeah,
like
that's like-
set into the
How are
ground. It
you
doesn't look
attacking
like
this?
it can be.
No, I thought
Mine
we had to do with
Mine's
Can
just
I investigate and
going
see
with
if it's
my
like,
flaws. I never stick to a plan.
like,
Yours is
like pressure
your-
activated?
Mine
yep.
I'm not fearless.
Yeah.
I'm fearless.
What's that? A fucking 2 on investigation.
Yeah, it's hard to make out. It looks like it's just part of the floor, but you're not 100% sure.
Nice, Gary.
Do you reckon I could spin it if I put weight on it?
That's going to end well.
I reckon our only option is to fight. I don't think
48 of
I
them.
don't think we're going to get out of here without fighting, unfortunately.
But do we have anything to
They're only terracotta. They break pretty easy.
cull the herd before the fight starts?
Kill the herd.
We could put a hut up and fight the ones that are inside the hut. And then,
Use it as like a retreat.
yeah.
Where are you at the moment? Zach?
Like both at the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just come over.
Well, I'd be with you because I'm not going to be shouting across the room because they turned to look at her when she spoke loudly. So I doubt I would be shouting at you across the room.
You just make a symbol of a heart. Can we?
Love power.
Hut.
Oh, heart. I thought you said heart.
Oh,
Oh, okay, my bad. Forget about the heart. The love power.
I'm just thinking, since the hut didn't work in the first room, would it work in this room?
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, but he's already wasted a third level spell.
Yeah, yeah. Do the ritual.
It'll take 10 minutes. It might piss them off.
Try to like do a cantrip or something. So like casting magic. Like just do magic.
Well, you would know Keshma cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just say so and that then piss off the statues, did it?
Didn't seem to.
Just piss me off.
What are you guys
So you
doing
think we should
over
stay
in
here for
the other tomb?
I
10
would like
minutes
to
and cast the hut.
inspect the sarcophagus.
Oh, okay. On the inside and then stab
I am also there inspecting it.
Okay.
I am also the inspecting.
Since what do you want us to do for inspection rolls?
So if you're both inspecting it, basically whoever's taking charge of it, which you can decide between yourselves,
Sorry.
can have advantage, essentially.
Investigation.
Yep.
What's your plus to it?
3. And I'm proficient in it.
Go for it.
What's yours?
Wait,
Plus 5.
you have a +3 and you.
I've already said.
Yep, that's one. You got advantage still.
This working 2 different rooms at once is giving me
21.
aneurysm.
Bet you didn't plan for that, Johnny.
Actually, I think I've got short notes.
Bet you didn't play for.
Oh, fuck off.
Let's go.
20.
I'm free for a 2.
Angry as
Yeah,
fuck.
What?
No, just leave.
So, the sarcophagus. You go over to it and you can see in the crystallized lid of it, there appears to be a keyhole in the center of the top.
Inside the sarcophagus, though.
No, on the top
On
of it.
the
You
top
can't
of
look through it because it's sort of like an opaque crystal. But looking at the keyhole doesn't go through the sarcophagus. It appears to go in maybe an inch or so.
Hey, remember that skeleton key I found? Should I use that?
Not yet.
I want to use it.
Not yet. I will knock you out.
I'm gonna knock you out!
Um,
Mama's gonna knock you
but
out!
that is about it, really. There doesn't seem to be anything else out of the ordinary. There's no inscriptions or carvings or
Yeah, like
anything
an
like that.
etch a sketch.
Is there anything on the pillars around the room?
Outside of the depictions on the walls of the minotaurs and that, not really. The pillars in the room are like quite decorative, well crafted marble pillars, but there's nothing out of the ordinary on them.
Does anything in the room, any of the colours match any of the colours that the sarcophagus turns to that I can notice?
Not that you can notice. I'd say being where you are now, being a bit closer, you notice there the maze that's up on the wall on the raised section. It appears to be almost animated and moving. But from here you can't tell exactly what's happening.
Okay.
No.
No, I'll tell you where to go.
I'll tell you where to go.
Pass.
Do that track.
So,
Do you want to go check out the map?
Yeah. Why not?
yeah, so you head up. And
I
you
have
can
no idea what
see.
use it on. I haven't been paying attention.
So you can see
We don't know what
this depiction on the wall is actually carved into the stone, yet it's definitely a maze, quite an intricate maze, but you can see it almost appears to be a bit of a troll. There's no entrance to this maze, there's no exit, and the walls occasionally shift. Where there was once a passage is now solid stone and vice versa. But it, like, from where you are, it seems to be almost like a top-down view of this maze. You can see everything, but there doesn't seem to be anything in it necessarily. It's just an empty maze.
What happens if I put an arrow into them?
You could try it.
Yeah, that's up to you. That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do in this situation,
I
because
don't
it
wanna
could go very, very wrong.
I don't want to get sucked in to the maze. Well, minotaurs are known for labyrinths.
All of this could go very, very wrong.
What are you guys doing?
Very, very
I can just cast
quickly.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start ritual casting a heart.
Okay, where are you going to
Sneak
cast it?
Back over.
Just where I am, so that it gets as little of them in the heart initially as possible.
Can I ask Kubazan what's in the map? Does he know what's in the map?
I don't know. Perhaps if you get closer, maybe touch it a little bit, I could answer your questions more.
I'm not going to touch it.
Just touch it.
For Pox, it just must look like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah,
Just touch it a little
that's
bit.
why, like, Pox has been especially now that Kashmir is sort of separated from you guys, he is looking a little more on edge. You can see he sort of constantly has his sword, his hand on his scabbard, sort of almost ready to draw his sword at any point. He looks a little more skittish now that he's away from the rest of the party.
I explain to him that we have gods, but I don't tell him what they've been telling us.
It's fine. We have
We
gods.
have gods.
He's like, that makes perfect sense.
Quick,
And
roll an insight.
he, seems to be totally okay with it.
So if you had
Should I
some,
roll the inside to see if you
Can
actually
if you want.
if you had something like walking on walls or turning invisible
Yeah.
or a fall
20.
attack.
Yeah, you can see the sort of worried look on his face, the sort of concern when you guys were muttering to yourselves. It sort of fades away, and he sort of looks a little more relaxed, and the look in his
Genuinely
eyes,
believes
he
you.
genuinely sort of understands
Well,
what
actually,
you're
just
talking
crazy.
Please do that.
about. He rolled a nat 20 in trying to understand what the fuck you said.
Oh, cool.
He's totally on board with it.
I just go up and high five him.
He doesn't high five you.
Why not?
Because
do it into his
you're
face.
in a tomb and he's not wanting to make too much noise. I don't know.
monster tells me things.
He's from like a very serious, like mercenary band, and you guys are like walking around
that's
talking
just
to
him.
gods.
We're doing
Throwing
a
hands
better job
against
than they
walls.
did.
Throwing gargoyles downstairs.
Yeah.
Works. That was a great idea.
I don't know why, but I thought goblins when you said gargoyles.
I'd be dead if I didn't do that.
Terracotta Boys, what are you doing?
We've got the hut going up. Unless you want to skip to the hut being
Yeah,
up.
so we'll say, a bit of time passes and the hut goes up.
So true cycle figures.
And I assume that she's in the hut. This.
What'd you say?
Yep.
Right.
Fucking let's go.
Yeah, let's just start smashing the ones inside the hut.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Or it might be Unk.
15 to hit.
Unk did like really fancy shit.
Does not hit.
You what?
Well, Unk like
So
really
you-
Wait, but it's a
fancy shit,
stationary
isn't it?
pot.
Yeah. So you reach out and you hit it, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. It sort of chinks off to the side. They seem to be quite hard.
Terracotta.
I rolled a 14 and a 13, so I don't think I hit it.
You reach out and sort of longsword,
Yeah.
jab out at them, and sort of you definitely hit, but again, it just doesn't seem to take any effect.
You rolled a fucking 1, didn't
No,
you?
I rolled a 7. It was a 15.
With that,
And then
oh,
6
actually,
and then a 7.
Keshma
Two
will
sevens and
get
six.
to act as well.
Are you gonna give me the hand axes? I can do 3 attacks
It's
if I have the hand
5,
axes.
48
Oh,
Terracotta.
fine, and you fucking.
what?
You could have
They
grabbed
just
it
have
before
to
when it was
fight.
stuck in
But I
that.
didn't expect
Oh,
to fight
shit.
48 enemies at once.
Yeah, but you could have grabbed it when it was stuck in that. Gold
Where are
thing.
my d20s
That's
gone?
not our problem.
So,
I got
You
some
didn't-
D20s if
You didn't
want.
grab them. Not my fault.
5 and cock.
I just rolled a 9. A 6 and a 9.
So- You watch as this
You could
Quite-
get a lot of them with fairy fire.
Harpoon, man!
No, while we're in the hut.
quite thin
it's a good
human
double.
woman conjures this immense mole as she
I didn't
brings
see
it
the
around,
hand axe.
smashes into the one on the left, and it shatters. Does it shatter? I don't think it does shatter, actually. No, it definitely doesn't shatter. She brings it around. I'll roll.
You done fucked up.
I was going to
we've got
target
8
both,
hours
but
of combat ahead of us.
Yeah.
Unless we get killed by like the 3 inside the
Oh my god.
Okay. To die with the three
Keshma,
inside the hut.
Keshma brings this massive stone maul around and smashes into one, blasting half of it apart, brings it back around for a second swing and demolishes the one on the left. With that, you watch as 47 of these stone statues snap their heads around and draw their swords as they all animate at once and begin converging on you.
Yeah, good idea, Wongo. Smash them when
So,
you get the chance.
initiatives, please.
I've got advantage, boys. 20!
Roll advantage, get another 20.
3.
Hey,
23! Scott, you got a dice tray there, you know.
Yeah, no. It holds me all my gods.
So would we have been able to switch hand axes, the possession of the hand axes before initiative started?
Yeah.
That's too cool.
Okay.
I could do 3 attacks.
20? Nat 20.
2 attacks and then an offhand.
What'd you get?
A 5.
Okay, so we've got.
20 to
Oh,
15.
you're not on attack. We've got Ogre Mark. We've got
15 to 10.
Kashmar.
21. If you want to be exact. Every
We've
single
got-
one of the 47 clay.
9 to 5.
We've got Terracottas. And then we've got Xanath.
How scary would that be? Like, you just like.
Where the
if
fuck
like
is Arm?
turn-based combat was like real life, you're like. You say all 47 of them move and you can't.
You haven't got time.
Yeah,
No.
It's like,
What was
I
his
gotta wait for my
puzzle
turn. Fuck.
on the
Shit,
outside?
shit.
Oh,
It's like weeping ages.
No, I reckon all terracottas should have separate initiatives.
on my head.
Yeah.
What?
All of them should have separate initiatives.
Yep.
At the
When
very,
you, when you DM, you can roll initiative
I mean,
for 47
at the very
people.
least, the ones in the hut should have their own, right?
No,
Sure.
that-
There would have been like
Well,
3
yeah,
total in
well-
the hut.
Nah,
Doesn't matter.
they
Is
act
it-
as one.
What's the radius on your hut?
10 radius, so out to there, and then in a circle. So maybe a little bit more, I don't know. I'm unsure.
I was thinking only those 10 foot, because I'm assuming you would have been against that wall.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it would have only been the 2.
Maybe it would have
maybe.
been the 2
I think it
corners.
only would
It
have
cut
been
one in half.
Are you saying that just to save them because they'll probably die to 2?
No, I genuinely sort of thought it would only
It
be
cut.
2.
It cut 2 in half as well.
Alright, I dropped. Oh, no.
Tim, if you drop more dice, I'm going to...
Oh.
Oh,
What is that?
it's not for children.
Because I look into lights with it.
It's just
Okay.
a pin.
I think I'm
Didn't you say how he had just like the magnet on it? Or not the magnet
I think
one?
I'm
So-
Magnet one, and he looked into the light with the magnet.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Mark.
did. Because we put the
What do you want to do?
Start swim.
and grabbed the
Okay.
cube with the fucking mage hand.
20.
The what?
Yeah,
Grab
does
the
it?
cube with the mage hand. Like, I mean,
Oh, outside, right.
because
Nice.
they were big
Attacks.
clues to the shit inside. Yeah.
7 damage.
Yep, okay, so how am I going to do this? Let's go...
Should have gone on the rage. Just to finish.
Despite Osgott's rage.
Still just an idiot.
So we're going to
Still
say...
just a barbarian in don't know what's
27. That's a lot of hit points. Okay.
What?
up. Sorry?
Did you say 1,000 or something?
Okay, so...
Minus 2,000, so they got negative.
You
1,000.
can die.
This. 20 hits, what's your damage?
9, I think it was. No.
Okay, yep.
Was it 9?
It was 9 or 7.
It was 7.
Okay.
It was 7.
I said.
You're still in the one attack, or?
No. I'm just thinking if I should go on a rage.
I'm gonna grab...
Yeah, I'm going on rage. It's 9 damage.
I'm gonna just grab a couple of minis that are freshly printed.
Get a weapons Mercus Jones, you dickhead.
You printed some terracotta?
I definitely remember
I
that.
didn't print any terracottas because there was no way I was printing 48 of them.
That's a poor effort.
No, that's understandable.
What if you made them like really small?
Oh my god, these rolls are fucking trash. Jesus Christ.
Game
You
for
two
you.
better die.
I've rolled so far, right? 7.
Game 3 is about
Sorry.
to start.
Yeah, 7, a 6, a 2, a 4, a 5, and an 8.
You can
What
die.
if I 17
It's a
hits?
1 terracotta. And there's another 46 of them outside.
No, we got this, it's fine.
You know how much
Johnny
experience
totally
we're
hasn't
fucking
looked up
getting?
ways to
Did you
fuck
hear
over
him
the
go,
heart.
oh, that's a lot of hit points?
Yeah, I looked over at his phone too.
Are you just waiting for us to come back?
1,500.
Hmm?
About 1,500.
Off all.
Are you waiting for us to get back when we're level 20?
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you can
it's-
level up when you're dead.
We gain party experience.
We're not gonna die, it's fine. I have
Party
healing word. If you go
experience.
down, I can bring you up as a bonus action.
Whoop,
I
whoop.
can't go down.
Party
It's fine. You
Hold on here.
fuck.
experience.
What if we level you guys up?
I doubt it.
Why?
I doubt you're gonna fight 48.
We might be fighting the King of
It's
Omer.
milestone.
Why would you fight the King of Omu?
Okay, one of them is not quite ready.
Because you're going to be
Does
pissed
the
off.
17 hit?
Yes. No.
What the fuck? I don't think I'm gonna be able to hit these guys. Jesus Christ.
What is that?
Oh, come on.
25?
You can't
Yes.
do that to us.
What was it?
They didn't
What?
see it.
We want to see.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I
you
thought
might.
you meant you saw it and you were like, fuck. Are they going to all form together into one giant brood?
Become Voltron.
That'd be fucking brutal.
33 damage.
Yep.
Come on, if
Um,
you've seen it, let me
That's
see
the one
it.
that's in the thing.
Yeah,
Seen
yeah.
a partial
Yeah,
snap of
you,
it.
What was it?
after a couple of attacks, managed to smash the arms off it, finally bring a blow to its chest where it just shatters to the ground. So that's the two inside the sort of confines of the hut, sort of dealt with.
46 to deal with.
You can see these are kind of, they're a bit almost sort of disciplined in the sense that the ones at the back are sort of
Waiting.
just waiting while a couple of them sort of advance to try to assault. Keshma is stood there and she says,
Do you remember
I'm kind of
vaguely
wondering
seeing
if this was a
before
good
that?
idea.
No, it wasn't. Magic can't go through. You're
Oh
fine.
wait, no you don't. Wrong character, don't worry.
Right.
Wait, what'd you say?
No, it wasn't. Oh, by the way, magic can't go through. You're probably fine.
So, so she is going to conjure once again.
What was on?
Can her conjured weapon
Sorry.
go outside?
She is going to conjure. So I did print a mini for this, but it's not really ready.
As long as the thing's outside of it, it's fine, right? It
Where?
can't go through.
Just go times 2 speed on the
Sure.
very-
It's going to be a Space Marine because
Minus
that's all I've got.
Oh, they're back!
So,
Back again.
so she conjures her stone
Space
elemental.
Marine.
Where?
Probably just outside the dome, because
So like there.
well, no, she'd have to conjure it inside, wouldn't she? And it will make its way out. So she does that.
It physically exists, so I...
Smash.
That is a good question.
Can magic leave.
And then, well, I'm assuming if it's made inside.
It says creatures and objects within the dome when you cast this spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through. Does that mean it's stuck on the inside now?
No, because if it's on the
Well, we'll
inside...
say, seeing we're not too sure, she steps out and then casts it. And she sort of, as she steps out, she says, I hope you have a plan. And as she says that, you can see her form begin to dissipate and her structure begins to build as her womanly form sort of adjusts to be a little more fitting to the massive maul that she's carrying. Her legs begin to disappear into a stony earthen sort of wisp of wind beneath her as her flesh crackles and she becomes
Why is she so big?
a massive...
You mean thick?
She's fucking huge.
That big bitch.
So he's like,
You mean
one of her arms is a little bit misprinted, but anyway.
she's huge.
As she walks out
What the fuck?
and begins taking a
She's holding
swipe.
spaghetti.
I should probably move her.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones. Of
So she's
Predators,
outside
not
the hut somewhere?
Yeah, so she just sort of moves out,
Yeah.
towering over these terracotta soldiers, and begins swinging this maul, which it seems to have grown even from the fall.
you throw another shower?
Both of them hit again. I found my other D20.
She's fucking massive.
Well,
She
that
don't
looks scary
die.
on the stream.
Whoa!
And also quite dark.
Here, let's give it some light.
Literal fucking void. Holy shit.
So she walks out.
This isn't helping.
Yeah, the translucent green is really dark on the camera, I noticed. But anyway.
Your
There is a light on that camera, you realise.
Yeah, but it's not really helping. I was seeing if I could get a light from another angle to maybe...
Oh,
It's a little bit questionable. Anyway, she comes out
That's bright.
oh my fucking eyes!
and smashes one of these terracotta soldiers.
Don't look into it. Dumbass.
DC 18.
Scott's just going.
Smashing one of these soldiers entirely with one swing. She brings it around and follows up onto another one. The other one manages to bring its sword up and sort of block the blow as it gets shunted back with immense force, but manages to keep its footing.
Into arms.
That is her.
They all die.
The thing rolled a 2, which means he is going to be going after you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Are these just random designs or designs of the actual character?
That's just one I print. That's not hers. That's just a random townswoman.
Fit.
So, what are you guys doing in the meantime? Just
Waiting for them to die.
yeah. So there's nothing in particular you want to be doing?
So there's pretty good faith that you don't reckon we're dead already.
Oh, we've seen you get out of shit situations before.
Written you off.
Eagle's coming back to help us.
He was coming back to help us.
Yeah.
Baxter's coming to help us.
Dexter's dead.
Oh.
Taban's coming to help us.
He's fucked
Selena's
too.
coming to help us.
She might be alive. I
No,
don't
she
know.
was a traitor anyway.
You just
Well,
traded
we
her.
didn't see her die.
That's a good point. Is Slater dead?
We don't know.
Don't know.
That was the only session I missed.
You also, your character wouldn't know who that is.
So, if they're not doing anything, then
Character knows a lot.
they are going to
What a
act.
smart guy.
Yeah.
So-
It's been watching the whole time from afar.
Damn, dude.
Ogamac and Garth are actually tracking the party.
So
Yeah,
you're
but actually-
you're inside the hut, aren't you? You like swing out. I'm
Yes,
assuming.
Yes.
Okay. So you see one of the terracotta soldiers come up to where your arm sort of phased through this opaque hut, and sort of walks up and cracks his sword on it.
Well-
Stands back.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna do the Avengers, the Infinity, and then it's like you know how it's like the dome over Wakanda, and then it's like charging it.
So, you can always tell when Tim's just watched a movie.
Yeah. It's like you don't even have to say spoiler it anymore because it's been out for that long.
Anyway,
Yeah,
no,
Not
but
just
basically,
that, but he's fucking spoiled how many movies in one sentence?
No, it's fine.
Wait,
Black Panther?
No, it's
was
fine.
that a spoiler?
Yeah.
I said Wakanda. I said
That's big dome around Wakanda.
Ah, sure. I haven't seen the movie. So, basically, he walks up, knocks on it a bit, can't see you anymore, and they begin moving back towards Keshwa and her golem, which are like moving out away from you.
that'll be right.
So a bunch of them are going to have attacks against her.
Too bad she doesn't have
Like if he
blood.
tries to,
Oh, also, this is
do I
terracotta
get-
coloured. Like,
if he
just the
comes
colour.
in my attack range and then he leaves it to go,
Yeah, so you can have an attack of opportunity, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got 2 hits against them, one
That's
against
it,
her.
2.
3.
Sucks that she doesn't have multi-attack defense.
So
Fucking
1
get a
against
new
her
dice.
is 5,
Use a different dice.
Use a different character.
12.
You gonna use a different dice?
Nah, I gotta stick with the same dice set.
Are
for
you
this
being
campaign.
Garbo Scott again?
I'm gonna if I die with these dice, I'm just gonna pick them. I'm gonna have a new dice set. For
I'll buy
every
them off you.
Okay,
Not for 130.
For
$10.
what'd you roll?
That's $120.
And then, and then
So you can
sneak
see
it
they
back
begin to
onto
sort of
us.
form around this massive Keshma, which
kicked
is
you.
now sort of almost hovering above half of them, taking swipes at her. A couple of them land hits, the same with the golem. The golem is sort of fending them off, sort of just barging through them as they wade through. That is them. Zenith.
I'm gonna attack.
Okay. See her arms like a bit fucked up?
Yeah.
That's what happens if it's like out of
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, because our level was
First
that.
attack
Yeah,
misses. Second attack is a 21.
Yeah, that hits.
There's a lot of
That is-
dogs.
Who are you attacking though? Sorry.
Is there any of them near the dome or not?
I'll say there is, and you've already rolled.
So
So
I could-
they're moving.
I haven't
away.
said which
Guess
weapon, so if they're
it's
not, like, it could just be a crossbow.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
you
it's
can
all
tell
cross.
it's not
yeah,
flat
okay.
because of the
Crossbow
bottom of
then.
it, the base.
That is 5 damage with the crossbow.
Okay, 5 on. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was just a whirlwind.
And that's it, because I missed the first shot.
I missed the first one. Yeah.
Done the hand pretty well.
Thought she was
And then bonus action, Bardic Inspiration on the giant.
A tornado. Still a bit.
So Bardic Inspiration on her or the.
Yeah, on her.
Okay. What does Bardic Inspiration do?
It
Plus
is a
one
D8
attack.
that she can add on her attack rolls ability saves, AC as a reaction.
Okay.
But
there's other
you
stuff.
can't add them before
You got
knowing
your-
that.
Oh.
You
can-
take now.
It's iffy because you can do it knowing the roll number, but before knowing what it is with their modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Ew.
lick it,
No.
pussy.
Sure.
I want to wash my hands.
Yeah,
right.
I
more
think
of
I
it.
still have Bardic Inspiration. I don't think I ever used
No,
it.
it'll be 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So.
There's a
Is it? I thought it was infinite.
What?
There
Fuck.
you go. There's have some there.
Okay. Is that you then?
Yes.
Okay. The elemental.
I thought it was infinite.
Why don't you lick
Nah. It was at first because we fucked
Tim?
up and didn't
Because
realise
you
that it was
pussy.
10 minutes.
Tim's just like playing trivia now. He's like, yeah, I may as well come back next week, I think.
Yeah, I think these two are dead.
What do you mean? We're fine. We got this.
Well, we're gonna be level 20 next time we see you.
Can you put it over there?
No.
You fucking
For
guys.
fuck's sakes.
I've lost my fucking eye.
Yeah.
See, look, I was just trying to set you up.
Sorry, I lost a page.
Okay.
It's not though.
This might give this a read, eh? Probably should have read it a lot earlier.
Where are you?
Sitting.
Oh, what the actual fuck?
What's going on here?
Boys.
Scott, I think it could be a 3-0.
Surely not.
Am I insane? 123. Why are they at 123? Oh, okay, I just went straight past it.
Fail.
Cool. So I don't know why I don't have a tag on that still, but anyway.
Lordy, lordy.
So the elemental.
Jesus.
What?
Two.
No, that means it doesn't fuck up K2 though. Because I'll win by 10.
The elemental wades out into these terracotta soldiers and begins sort of slamming its arms around.
What?
They manage to sort of evade it.
Just do this and then spin.
KT. Oh, sorry.
So after finally looking up those stats, it missed on both attacks. So Ogremuck.
If a freak wins.
I have 20 bolts and 15 arrows, so this is going to go really well.
Can we look at... I need
I
to
have
look at
less than
something.
one ammunition.
Really?
We don't have the book for
Anyway.
it.
I just want to use the skeleton claw on the psycho.
I have 20 crossbow bolts and 15 arrows.
Yeah.
Why?
So shoot one and go back. And
You're up, Ogremuck.
What if it...
We could dream.
What are you dreaming?
Nothing.
Dream, Harold.
You can?
If you guys want to do anything at any point, just jump in.
28.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Time stops if we stop.
What?
Oh.
I'm gonna savage
Could be
attacks
linked
that fucker.
to the map.
7.
Because if it's linked to the map, then you can work out where to actually solve this shit.
Has a dice tray, doesn't use it.
We should look for numbers
I'll use
around
it
the
then.
room.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Gets it stuck in there.
And then we can force the clock to go to whatever number.
Does 18 hit?
Yes.
Oh, 19. Actually, because I'm in range.
How do I find my
Spoils God's rage.
spells? How the fuck do I use this website?
You click on the little buttons down the bottom, and then you click spells.
20.
Holy shit!
25 points.
What?
Okay,
He
you
was
managed to
right.
take
About
down
what?
another one, swinging through.
Yeah.
Click the button down the bottom, and then you click spells.
I'm assuming you moved out to attack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out. I'm gonna go out of them because
Man.
they're gonna be focusing here anyway, so.
They'll turn around
Okay.
and Scott.
So you move out and start taking one down. And do take one down, I should say.
To move back in? Nah, I'll be fine.
So
Nick, minute
there was
cops 5 hits
48.
dies.
How many are there at the moment?
46,
I
yeah,
can't die on
45.
the last hit though. I'll have to die. I'll have to be taken down to 1
Sorry, I've got him down to 45.
and then get hit again.
Still only about 1,300 hit points amongst them.
Daxter, shoot a fireball.
Well, I can marry 2 people in this game.
Oh, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
How stupid and / great of a spell is
For
it?
the next 7 days, they both gain +2 to AC.
But they need to be
By
willing to get
marrying.
married, and you can only do it once unless one of them dies and gets
Yep.
married.
And if it's only if they're in 30 feet of each other. Do you want to get married?
I'm not God!
Were you asking like these two to get married?
Keshma, is going to.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Beefy
Okay.
as fuck. You'll have a 19 and I'll have a 21.
Keshma.
Getting closer to my 28.
Who's the bitch?
Not.
Tim like pointed to himself and like you pointed.
You pointed to yourself, bro.
More like Garth Ass Scorcher.
So much chili the night before burns on like stick off.
How takes last then?
Okay, I just want to check a
Help.
spell.
No, you did.
Dick lover.
Borondel.
Brondle.
What?
More like anal.
What the fuck is Brondel?
No, it was randomly generated. Do you
Uh,
think I came up with this shit?
Such a bad name.
Yeah, no shit.
Brondel.
Wait, what's your other character's name?
Elnato.
No, it wasn't.
What's your blood?
Oh, I genuinely don't remember. This was
Come on,
like
Tim, what was
fucking
it?
month ago.
Hell
Some
Van
edgelord.
Edgelord.
I thought something fucking stupid other than that.
It has Hell in its name, I know that.
Nah,
much.
there's a guy. This character's name's Dougal McDougal.
Oh yeah, do you?
And then he's gonna make a second character. I was like, what about Scroodle McPoodle? Or Shroodle McDougal?
So,
Henrik Hellroyd. That's what it-
Oh yeah, because there's hemorrhoid.
Keshma
Bloody
moves out,
Hellroyd.
swings at one, and sort of misses as Ogama smashes it. But she follows around and hits another one, coming straight down onto its head, and this thing just explodes.
Shards of terracotta do damage to the
It's
other
an
ones.
area of
Oh no way,
feet.
that's pretty useful.
Raise or lower.
You passed.
Oh my god.
Yay, I passed my check.
What the fuck is that?
So,
Fast.
you watch as Keshma sort
That's
of
good.
finishes her swing and then focuses for a second. And you watch as the whole back side of the room begins to drop, almost as if a sinkhole is opening up. And you can see a sheer cliff about 6 foot tall is now across the room, essentially stopping half of them from getting up. 40 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah,
Wall of stone?
pretty much across. Like that back half of the room seems to sink and displace. Sort of creating a bit of a rip in the ground.
bonus action.
What?
What would that be?
Have you just been playing your entire character wrong this whole time?
100%.
I've been doing a lot of that, so.
I've been all out offense, but I can actually do like proper buffs and shit. But like, as
Oh,
bonus
actually, that
actions.
starts to happen. It doesn't happen immediately. It
Fucking
starts to happen.
Shield of Faith is a bonus action. Lasts for 10 minutes.
That's a
and
bit
I
of
get
a waste, actually,
+2
because that takes a while.
to
So-
AC.
That's not bad.
Or whoever I
That's her.
touch.
The terracotta
When will you get
guys.
that at, Yoshi?
First.
So,
If you make a team with a paladin and a
there are 2 attacks coming at Ogamuk, 3 at Keshma, and 3 at the
Druid,
Golem.
I think it's called, or whatever the Druid is.
1,
the
2,
smith
3,
stuff.
1, 2, 3.
15
They can
AC.
touch their armor and give themselves an AC bonus.
So, what's
And then there's a subclass of human that can do the same thing. So you can give yourself +2, and then you can do that
Plus
yourself
4.
+4.
If it
And it
touches
shows
So, one of them hits on
+2
Keshma.
AC every day.
And then you get married.
Yeah.
You can't marry people at level 1, can you?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
You could legitimately make a level 1 with like 25 or
The
26.
2 coming at you, Ogamuk. What's your AC?
15.
That's
Okay, 1 hits.
This shit's really useful.
More like
She
Ogre.
is 6 points of
Dark.
damage. Sorry, 7 points of damage. And 2 hits on the golem. 15. It's 25. Okay. That's them. Xanath.
cool. I'm gonna shoot him again.
Shoot.
That is a 20.
That hits.
Nothing.
Damn, it hit nothing. That's unfortunate. That is 5, 6, 7 damage.
Yep.
And the next shot is a miss.
Okay.
Okay. And then Bardic Inspiration on the Barbarian.
Yep.
Bundle of
Wow.
Okay, so the
Turning
elemental
Japanese.
2 attacks. Wow. Okay, that golem cannot do shit. Apparently,
You know what song
it can't. It hasn't quite worked out that the terracotta guys are the bad guys, and it's sort of unsure who to hit. But it's distracting them at the very least. Ogama.
What am I thumbs?
Again?
Not right.
Yeah.
Punch it.
I'm gonna try and
think
chip
that'll
through
make it
these quickly, otherwise
not
this could go
right.
on forever.
Maybe we should open this
22.
sarcophagus.
Yep.
That's the labyrinth.
That should wait till next week.
What? When they come back?
9 damage.
Yep.
Miss.
Come on, chica.
Hit.
Oh,
Savage attacks.
teaks.
Was it 9?
How's that make
Did I roll the first one? I don't think I added
You
everything.
rolled 9.
I rolled 6.
Yeah.
So 11. 23. 23 points of damage. All up.
23. Cool. You bring that around and manage to cut into one of them. It sort of stone form collapses out of the bite your axe leaves, and he falls to the ground and smashes.
I retreat back to the hut. Because then I won't be swinging it anymore.
Okay, you are going to get one attack of opportunity.
Oh, am I still... Oh, if I'm in range or something.
So there's sort of 2 like engaging you.
Yeah, I won't move then.
Okay.
Sword's really pretty.
So that's you, Keshma. Is not going well. Okay. Keshma is. So Keshma, I don't think I've missed. No, I have missed with. But her elemental cannot hit shit as she smashes another one.
Keshma's strong as fuck.
She should be at that fucking size.
As she should be with that challenge rating. Sorry, that's her terracotta guys. So, one will go at Ogamark. That's going to be a miss. 3 at her. Wow.
Scott didn't piss her off earlier.
No.
Wow! I just rolled 6 attacks. I got 3 nat 1s, a 2 and a 3.
That is impressive.
You're rolling like Scott.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe Scott should be DM.
So they all fumble about, not really
You
sure,
already are the
panicking.
You're the dig master.
Xanath.
Right, does she look like she's been hurt?
Shut up, you
You've seen her take a couple of hits, yeah. It's sort of hard to judge if she's injured, as she seems to actually be made of stone or some kind of earth.
Right, well, I'm going to use my action to go into my wraith form, whether it's the necrotic shroud.
Yep.
Which I don't think matters because none of you guys know what's within 10 feet of
can
me.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do get the bonus damage.
Yep.
I start hitting people eventually.
Okay.
And then, as my bonus action, I will use Healing Word on her to
Okay.
heal her for 6 health.
So serious when you told me that.
What?
The elemental hits once finally. Points. Yep.
We killed it, Lucky.
Ogama. Are you guys still happy, just like hanging out?
Yeah.
You're all still just stood there looking at this
No,
ever-changing puzzle.
times is passing.
Does
Like,
7
Yeah,
hit?
I'm trying to notice if there's any patterns in the puzzle.
Okay, so you're all just hanging out there though.
Yeah.
if
17.
17.
No,
Okay,
that's
not
it.
quite.
Yeah.
No.
Get
Racing.
fucked.
Your time's done.
Get fucked, Dick Master.
Are you fucking serious?
That won't hit.
Oh, that wasn't that 20 for reckon. Okay, 1 hit then.
Shut up, you
Savage
dirty muncher.
attacks.
Is that just because you can use it every round?
Yeah.
Rolls at 10, savage attacks.
Shut the fuck up, Thomas.
16 points of damage.
Okay.
It's like
Yep, that'll be
That's 2
enough.
words.
16.
Monster.
Yeah.
No, it's not quite,
Dumbass
sorry.
is one word. For the life.
Yeah, dildo must better.
You like swing at this one, sort of take one of its arms off. It looks very injured, but not quite falling apart. Keshma, I should just be rolling these. One of them hits.
Works just go.
Oh, that's a bad damage roll. She does sort of swing around as you hit this one and finishes it off. Slowly chipping through these.
How many have we got left?
Terracotta. Sort of hard to. It looks like you've smashed maybe 6, 8 of them so far.
We're getting
They're
there.
gonna be able to make so many.
We're about an eighth of the way there.
Gonna make a tile hands.
So,
Send it to projects.
no more. You just attacked that one, so there's none between you and Kashma now. So you don't get any attacks. She'll have probably 4 at her this time as she's moving deeper into them. 1 hit,
We're too close.
2 hits.
Yeah, we're chroming off the resin.
And she hasn't used her bardic inspiration yet, right? Yes, she has.
No, she hasn't. 11, 15. And 4, 3 against.
When you haven't used yours.
Oh, that's a bad. 2 hits, one of them a critical. 6 is going to be plus
I think
12.
I hit level 9. I get critical roll, so I get to roll 4 d12s.
Nice.
Okay, Xanath.
Alright, I'm going to shoot my crossbow. That one is a miss. That one is a hit. Wait. 18, so that's a hit, yeah?
That one.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. And that is 6 plus 1 is 7 plus
Jeez.
plus 7 necrotic damage. So 14 total. 7 of that.
14 total.
Can deal with this form that I'm in for 1 minute. I can deal 7 necrotic damage whenever I deal any damage to an enemy.
It only
So
lasts
you-
for a minute.
Yeah.
So you've never used it. You've used it once.
Yeah.
Until now.
No, we tried to use it one other time, but
Yeah.
then we got. That's right.
And we got warped into an alternate dimension.
Yeah, he literally used it, and then the session came back, and he's got teleported. The elemental swings out
The
again.
issue is it
missing.
takes an action to get into this.
Ogamuk.
So it takes a way around.
It's not like you do much any other round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not really doing it. Is it too late for me to have used my bonus action to heal her?
Again, yeah, you can do that.
So I'm just going to do that like each round. This time she
Is it a
heals.
cantrip?
No, it's a bonus action spell, but I can use any spells that round. So.
Oh, okay,
Does
sure.
come often.
So that time she heals for 9.
9.
I figured keeping her alive is probably pretty useful at this point.
24 points of damage.
Yep, you notice this bolt sling past and hit one of them, weakening it, and you bring your axe around and sort of finish it off. That one falls. Keshma, I haven't rolled for yet. Oh, that's neither of them. Why am I rolling twice? There's only 2. She doesn't manage to get any this time. Terracotta. So, so you will have moved up a little bit to get those attacks wherever you think is appropriate. Okay, so there'll be 1 at you, 2 at it, 3 at her, 4 at her probably, as it was last time. 2 of them miss.
Roll 2 17s.
1 of them hits. Tim's just rolling dice for the hell of it. 9.
Let's go home to.
Well, there's only 4 minutes till 8:30, so.
No, we're gonna finish the fight.
Oh yeah, we'll be on over then.
9 and 2 at it is 15, 19. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, that's 2 hits on him. 10 times 2. Okay. Who just went? No, they just went. Xanath.
Terracotta.
Can I
Alright.
go as well? Then? As well.
Yeah, if you want to just like roll some stuff,
Yeah.
because
This might be a roll.
Both crossbow shots here.
yeah, just don't start all throwing numbers at me one after the other.
12, 48, 92,
I will
30,
kill you.
1.
7. Wow.
18 damage, 7 of which was necrotic, if that matters. Probably
Okay.
doesn't,
Yep. So that's another one.
Just check a couple of extra numbers on Johnny right now.
the golem sort of punches one, your bolt slings through and hits it as it sort of shatters apart.
25.
Damage.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, you beat that one out real quick.
Yep.
2 hits and 2
Yeah.
misses.
You did.
Job's done.
Essentially that's all
Willpowered it
I'm
out.
I'm not doing very well like that.
After all,
Okay.
pretty
So,
easily, no, it's
I'm
gonna
a
be
goddamn
plus-
superhero.
You really are a DM. Deep Mesbird.
So 30.
+4 with the crossbow.
So simple.
Yeah. Yet effective.
Running low on bolts.
You're a dick
What's
monster.
her what did I say her intelligence was?
Isn't that what Scott said
He said it was
first?
decent.
Yeah. Come on, Mikey.
Come on, give some originality.
You're a dungeon master.
What is it? Constitution or something? Okay, so
Dog masturbate.
you damage one. She's going to take her attacks. One of them's a nat 20, one of them's a 2.
Probably worse.
Which is pretty safe to say that's going to kill it. But yeah, that kills it. So again, she
KO.
instantly smashes one. She turns around and sort of raises a hand, and you can see her sort of cast a spell. And one of the terracotta soldiers stops.
Hammer time.
Against 30. Oh wow, yeah, and falls to the ground. Doesn't shatter, but falls to the ground as if whatever magic is powering it
Thought she
has
was like
suddenly
stoned to
She
mud.
dispelled one of them?
If she could do that enough,
Should fairy fire.
$40.
Fuck that.
I don't know if I can from
Okay.
No.
What were you killed one already?
Cash one is out.
Job of the Hut.
What is it? I haven't had mine go this round, right?
Wasn't that your bolts going out?
Wasn't that the round before?
I don't know at this point. We're just churning through this combat. I was looking at this. So I was looking at this fight earlier, and I was like, "This is going to be a ball ache." I'm like, "Fuck, there'll be like 9 people in there. It'll be fine. They'll get through it pretty quick. They'll have like some spells and stuff." But no, everyone gets separated.
How are they
That
going
wasn't
to
on
Sorry,
purpose.
six people.
Yeah.
Wait, were
Well,
them
7 because she conjures her thing.
Plus the lizard. He's here.
But yeah,
What?
That fucking lizard.
it's 1 hit.
What the fuck?
Your name's Jeff.
Found the talking lizard.
Oh yeah.
when?
I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it.
Oh no, you eat my lizard.
Okay, Xanath then.
Oh,
yeah.
I probably went back to his room.
That is a hit on one and a crit fail on the other.
At this stage, that would be coming up ever so slowly.
And that
Are you
is-
guys doing anything?
Miss.
Just hanging out?
Yeah.
Have we noticed any
Yes.
patterns in the map?
Hit. 2 hits and 2 misses again.
Any repeating things?
No, nothing that stands out. It does appear to be like you sort of watch it and take notes, but it does appear to be almost just completely random. Even the pieces that change
Oh, yes.
aren't the same. They're sort of like occasionally,
inspiration.
just random pieces will move.
23 damage.
I did 15.
Okay, yeah. So combined, you guys take down 1 and leave 1 damaged. 15.
Oh, the
Oh, and then I'll heal her because I haven't healed her in a little while. So
Yep. So that would
she
be,
heals for 11 health.
for 11.
Yep.
Okay, she literally took 11 points last time, so just take that away.
What the fuck? That was so far off.
So that's the-
Do it. If you land in the middle, I'll give you
The
inspiration.
one that you leave damaged, Keshma brings her
I
maul
don't think it's
around
an
and
arc properly to
smashes
land
it.
point down though. Nah, I'm bad.
Now we have your pens. Jokes on you.
All your pen up belong to us.
The other ones. Like behind the screen.
Okay. So they're gonna go. Let me just have a look at something.
Up in my brain, I die. I love it.
I don't know whether the link to that's going. It's just gonna stay there. I
Well, it
guess.
depends on how hard you hit it.
Fucking smack it.
You can have your pen back if you want. Jokes.
You're still gonna miss the center.
Yes.
Got closer than you did.
I'm eyeballing it. Fuck you, that's right.
What is his name?
Johan.
Johan. Johan!
Oh,
Now, do it with your eyes closed.
Really hope that the stream's picking this up.
Nah, you have to like have your eyes closed and then put it up.
So like this.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check something real quick because
Dude.
I think there is an option.
Nah, you got
in circle.
Actually, you got to put the book where Tim's character sheet is so the stream can see properly.
This is another one.
Not
What
bad.
the actual fuck are you guys doing?
You missed the target, but not bad.
it's gonna be
I love the way. So
Drop it on
last
the
week
TV.
you were complaining about breaking the lead in the pencil, and this week you're playing darts with the lead in the pencil.
Yeah, it's my pencil to break. Not other people's pencils.
I didn't complain about the lead breaking. I'm already good. I don't even think it
Hey,
has
look,
broken.
if I had 48 terracotta warriors to kill,
You'd probably get through them relatively fast because you have that arrow that can.
That, the lead's not broken.
Yeah, it's almost like you'd be extremely useful in this
Yeah.
fight.
I don't
Almost.
reckon. I don't reckon.
Only almost though, not quite.
What's he got that's useful?
These thunder arrows.
He wouldn't get any thunder
You
arrows.
wouldn't hit him.
Doesn't need it. He
Couldn't
just needs to
hit
get
it all.
close.
yeah.
It's a thunder AoE thing.
Where?
genuinely missed the fucking
Oh, his
ball.
stats.
Holy shit. That's worse than missing a boat.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
it?
Is it? A boat's pretty big.
A boat can kind of move.
Yeah, but it's like $14 million bigger.
Okay.
Maybe not. Sorry, go.
What's a what?
I was thinking,
What if it was a really big door?
what if you're a big dog?
What if it was a really small boat?
But it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a pretty large boat.
Have they had their turn? Can we go again? Or?
Sorry, I was just looking at something real quick
Where'd it go?
because there is a way for
Oh,
this
not
guy
that.
to do stuff.
Just
Yeah.
speed the combat up.
You're right.
Well,
Enough to
I'd-
kill us all.
there's something that can happen at my discretion. The problem is I hadn't prepared
you think
it,
I was
and
gonna
now I
throw
can't
it on?
find his stats.
No.
What happened?
Switch out with a knife from my sleeve.
But yeah, basically it's a way to essentially jump through this, but I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Oh. Nope. Okay, we might just continue with that. Or alternatively, I mean, it's up to you guys, but we could, in theory. No. I don't even know what it. No, I suppose I could look it up in the thing.
Good job.
Alternatively, because it is on time, we could end and I could look it up and we could do it next week.
Sure.
But it's, yeah. Because if we keep chipping through these, which we can do, but it will take a while.
How many have we taken out so far?
You're down to 35.
We're getting there.
Yeah?
You started at fucking 48.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're doing decent actually.
It's over a quarter.
Yeah, you guys, you're doing fine. That's the thing. So that's the thing with encounters like this, is that
Well, we
these
did.
guys aren't very strong, and you guys have found yourself in a situation where you have some companions who can just tank the shit out of it.
Companion.
And the thing is, I could be like,
Because we're married.
I could be like, oh well, like ignore them
I'll set it
and
up.
go for you guys, but these guys don't have any intelligence really. Like they have very minimal intelligence.
They're just gonna go for
I'll
Hey,
set it up
So
if you want
yeah,
to. If you
so
wanna do it
basically
right
this
now,
would
we can get
continue
married.
until the point that you guys destroy them all.
No, because I always ran away.
So
we
there is an
couldn't fit
option
each
that
other.
could happen,
That's true.
which I could have a look at, or you
You
guys
will.
could just keep chipping through. But
Yeah.
I might have a look at the option and see if it would be better. Because yeah, otherwise this is just going to be half an hour of attack roll,
The
until
babies are going to be fucking ugly.
they die, or probably more like an hour.
And we're letting you guys do whatever.
Yeah, and you guys are just sat there being like, eh.
Yeah.
Darts!
Talking about getting married, playing darts.
Yeah.
Enjoying life.
So yeah, I might have a look at a couple of options and then we can finish this off next week.
Next week.
Next week. But yeah. I was kind of expecting somebody to die in one of those rooms, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah.
Mastermind.
Did pretty well. The idea was, so, I mean, without giving too much away, because that's still ongoing, but the trap is, as you found out, activated elsewhere. So it's not to do with... So, I literally... You cast...
Find trap.
Yeah, like find trap. And I was like, it's not triggered in the room, it's triggered somewhere else. And you're like, it must be triggered by weight on the floor. I'm going to start throwing bodies in there.
Yeah.
I was like... Okay. Like literally one after the other.
I full just trusted the ranger as well. Like, he knows more about traps than I do.
I thought like not inside the room, like under.
No, it's just a person with a button.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's like, haha, that's enough people.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. But yeah, anyway. But interesting. Yeah, I don't really like these encounters where it's just like, here's 50 weak enemies for you to grind against for an
Good
hour.
old horde mode.
Because I can't imagine this even being fun in an off-stream game, let alone one where you sort of expect people to watch.
It's fun if you're close to dying.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I don't think even without
Funky.
Keshma and the Golem, I mean, yeah.
They didn't have the heart.
Like if you were healing, yeah. And that's the thing, even if they did ignore them, you guys would pull back into the hut. And there's not much they can do to get by it.
The
So-
heart wins.
That's
unless
I am low on ammo.
unless what?
Well, like I say, there is another option for this area.
Oh no,
So
Yeah, it's like fix the room or something.
I'm scared. They all transform
If we
into
were
one.
there, this would be even easier.
if you guys were here, we'd probably just go on with it because you'd be getting through it much quicker. I'd probably say like you guys roll a damage thing.
What?
2 attack rolls.
We'd take one each.
I rolled a
That's
20
least.
and a 15.
I've been missing 2 times every turn. I'm still killing one.
Keshma rolled about 4 nat 20s during that
Jesus
combat.
Christ.
Best case scenario, I could hit one and kill it completely in a hit.
You're cool.
Just eat.
So how
But yeah.
many hits did you hit?
But yeah, I was literally looking at this because
We're not getting married anymore.
I was like, oh, it'll be fine. They'll find that room. They'll all fucking pile in wanting to investigate it. And you guys were like, no, I'm going to stay out.
Let's
I'm
go
like,
collect Minotaur meat.
sons of bitches.
The one time that we actually split up.
Yeah.
Yeah, bet you didn't
They would have
expect
said some
Minotaur meat.
stupid idea though, and then would have like thrown us off track, and then we all would have died. Let's do in one of those things. Let's do this, and then would have thrown us off track, and we would have died.
Yeah, because that air room, like, you guys got onto the bones pretty quickly. And Keshma being in there, Keshma does have quite a high intelligence. That's why she
So do I.
knew that.
Drops. Hints.
Yeah, so you probably would have made an intelligence check. And yeah.
Probably failed.
Or even him as a ranger probably would have known that. Or, you know, could have made a check. But yeah.
Check myself before I wreck myself.
But yeah, otherwise.
Just eat and breathe everything.
So
Oh, it's
I'm
not-
going to assume that you guys aren't going to go through those trap rooms.
Nope.
So fun fact, the one with the sand in it, once enough sand falls in with enough weight to trigger the floor opens up into essentially a meat grinder of cogs where you take something like 40 d10 of damage.
I would have.
Can't die in one hit.
Would have gone through and popped out the other side.
Yeah, so
Perfectly
there
fine.
is. Don't worry, if you survive, it's accounted for if you survive that.
A second
Underneath
meat
it.
grinder.
There's more fun stuff beneath. So
What the fuck?
yeah, I really expected somebody to die in those rooms,
Same.
but yeah.
Must
You two did well under pressure. Good job.
Nat 20 on the perception. accidentally fucking up the sleight of hand.
Yeah, so literally that sleight of hand, if that was above 10, you would have popped the button out and broken it.
And broken.
Under 10, you would have fucked it up and pressed it accidentally. That was literally...
And you rolled a 2 and you're plus 9.
Plus 7.
Plus 7.
Yes, I got a 9.
Fuck.
I had, what, 2 options
That
I
is
could
the
have rolled.
luckiest roll
Yeah.
ever. That was
Can
better
you-
than mine.
So that's the thing. I was just like, okay, above 10, he fucks it. Below 10, it's good. I had no idea what your modifier was. So, like, yeah, that was...
You
that was
literally could have only rolled 2 things,
a 1 and a 2.
and you fucking got it.
Oh my god, that's
Pops
great.
a button.
like,
out.
it probably wouldn't have been broken permanently, but it would have been, like,
Unless you got a 20.
a bit of a... yeah.
Just
Um,
rips the whole mechanism.
20,
out.
then
It would have, it would have popped out neatly, yeah. But anyway.
Compared to like a 10.
Or a 1 and butchers it and rips the whole thing in half.
Like, 1 would have worked.
No, because it's a crit
Because it
fail.
just would have fucking headbutted it and taken damage. You got stabbed in the head by this thing.
Okay, so we
Makes
will finish up there then.
Dead.
How much damage did the acid do?
I'm not going to
12d8.
tell you because you might end up going back that way.
Yeah, how else are you going to leave that room?
Well, we already crossed it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to step
Well,
across,
that's good.
but there
Yeah.
was a chest at the bottom of the thing.
What the fuck are we gonna... Oh no.
So,
We're going to get the chest.
Just has something important in it.
No, it's just a
um,
chest and you guys like looting.
don't know. It's always an option.
It's definitely
Um,
important.
I'm immune to acid.
If there's vaguely an
Oh, fuck
option,
yeah.
if there's vaguely an option of you guys going back, I won't tell you. But I'm pretty sure yous weren't going to go trudging through those rooms after
Yeah, I'm
hearing
going now.
what
Too
happens. But the thing is, the other thing that sucks with you guys being separated is like you guys, it was fine because you had to work it out, but like you guys sort of knew it, so like you guys,
Can't
Yeah.
do
like-
it without
Felt
metagaming.
kind of
like yeah,
obliged
like
to
not
go
not in
there.
the sense that oh you guys will metagame it, but it's pretty fucking hard not to metagame
Yeah, you're
that.
like,
Like
I'm going to be a dickhead
yeah,
and not...
like yeah, there's
live.
no way. It's like you with that door. You're like, oh, I'll investigate all of the
Yeah.
doors. Like I know where you're going. Like you can't not metagame that. But the doors, like
It's pretty
that's what I was
hard
saying.
to
Saying
turn
those
off your
doors
brain
were
like
open and
that.
untrapped. There was no point in hiding them
It is
from you.
because it's never turned on.
But yeah,
How do I live then, Scott? How do I move?
You don't.
How do I breathe?
Fuck knows.
anyway. All right, cool. So that is about it. In other news,
I'm a lizard
if you want to catch up on past VODs and stuff, use the link below to go to the Rat Project's YouTube channel where you can find some other stuff like there's a new series, the first
Do you
one
have an
going up
Instagram
tonight, which is mine. There is also hopefully if I work out how to use this printer and get it printing 100%, I might put something up about that because for $600, that resin printer is fucking unreal compared to others on the market. So as long as it keeps doing a good job, I might put something up and be like, hey, this is an option. But yeah, anyway, keep your eyes open on that channel. There'll be some other stuff going up. Until then, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Hopefully next week won't be so much of a grind because it was a little bit of a grind this week.
We'll be opening sarcophagi
Yeah.
and labyrinths.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Well, yeah. I'm really excited for this room. I'm really excited for all of the
Don't
rooms.
say
No,
that.
like everything.
Don't say that.
Everything on this level is kind of interesting. I like what's going
So I
on.
wonder if that's
That's
Unk in there.
rude as fuck.
I wonder if it's Unk in there. Or if it's just a random
Well, fucking... One of them's Unk, and then one of them we don't know.
Maybe none of them are Unk. And both
One's the
of them
fucking
we don't
King
know.
of Rome.
Well, both of them are Unk.
Maybe
100% one's the King of Rome, I reckon.
Probably the one wearing.
Maybe Unk's dead.
Well, if it's the King of Roma, we
They're
can go
all
like,
dead.
hey, we met your wife.
No,
She was
as in
pretty
like no
nice.
spirit or
And
anything.
then high-five them.
Yeah.
Then we got a new companion.
Fuck yeah, the undead King of Omu. Best companion.
Alright, cool. That's it. Alright, we'll see you next week at the same time at the same place. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Alright. See ya!
Later.
Bye.